Hello, Swivel Heads. This is Greg Allison with Green Greg's Worm Farm. How are y'all doing? Green Greg's and ham. Let me put the mute button before I get too much feedback here. Oh, Swivel. There we go. Yeah, I knew it started up, so I'll have to go to the other room and look at the chat. Or I can put up my laptop. That might be the better way to do it. See how everybody's doing. I do have my laptop. I'll watch it on here. I better watch your chat on here where I can watch myself live on the other screen. That way I stay somewhat slightly less than discombobulated than before. Oh, I'm seeing a weird video. Welcome to my YouTube channel. What the world? There's some odd video on my channel here. Actually, it shouldn't be on there. I'm gonna have to go in. Something happened. There's a welcome to my channel video that got changed or something, and it looks really. Maybe somebody hacked my channel or something. What is that? Wow. But there's my greenhouse. Okay, I don't know what that is. Anyway, guys, hope all's doing well. And it's funny, I don't actually see this video on my other channel yet. That's odd. Here we are. Things are getting a slow start. So we got 17 people in the room now, I'm saying. That's good. Thank you. I'll have to kill this video sound too. Give me a second. There we go. So it takes a minute to get everything set up, guys, when I'm doing a live session this way. So I hope everybody has some good patience with that. And I'm not seeing any comments from anybody yet, so it's kind of odd. But anyway, so how's everybody doing? We're having a strange month this month. The month's almost over. A lot of craziness has been happening. And I got some video I'll be willing to share with you guys if you want to see it. I'll do a hi in the chat notes, so I'll kick it off. We got 24 in the room. That's good. Thank y'all. And just so you know, if I say halo, you've heard Rex and others say halo sometimes. There we go. Vox Monster. Sometimes other folks say hey, halo and have on their channels, but when I say halo, you know, I ran a program called High Altitude Liftoff. Hey, halo. And I had a song. Mr. Belpa, now comments are popping in. Very good. Good to see you guys. There we go. Now I know we're alive and running here. All righty. Brian Anderson, hello. Vox Monster, Mr. Bill Pops, Byers Jeremy. All right. A lot of snow in Nevada. Wow, cool. And Redneck J Dog, hello, watching from Paducah, Kentucky. Okay, that's not really all that far away. And all right, so Danny and Granny, Ellen Story, Anton, and how are y'all doing? All right, guys. So let's kind of get with it. How many of you guys would like to see some video tonight? Would y'all be interested in seeing some videos that I've got? Making it kind of evening for that, or y'all have some questions you'd like to ask tonight? I kind of discovered a channel that's been populating videos from conferences I used to go to a lot. And so he's got a lot of video of me, older video. So I thought you might get a kick to see me like in 1993. The oldest video I found on there was from 1993. So that's probably the oldest thing about me on YouTube right now. New Zealand in the house. All right, Richard, good to see you. Good to see you. Apple juice. Hey, everybody needs some apple juice, right? From Ohio. I'm not drinking some tea, guys. So let me get in here on my main screen. Everybody like my hat with a Space Force emblem on it. This was given to me by my friend Ed Kiker, by the way, who I met at Fort Greely, Alaska in 1981. He and I started the North Star L5 Society. We met on a range. Now, the funny thing about Ed and funny thing about the L5 Society, back when I was at Fort Greely, the society only had 5,000 members worldwide. So when you meet somebody 100 miles from the nearest red light that's a member of the same society, it's only got 5,000 members in it. It's like, wow. He was at my house here just a couple of days ago. Isn't that funny? All right, Dan122, NZ2. All right, well, we got a lot of New Zealanders in here. That's cool. Lots of New Zealand. And hello from Toronto. Well, hey, I like Toronto. That is the prettiest big city in the world. Always clean. At least it was back in the days when I used to go up there. I used to go up there quite a bit. Yeah, hold it closer. All right, guys. So I've just posted a bunch of videos about grid defense. As y'all know, President Biden signed Executive Order 13990, in which he suspended the securing the bulk grid executive order that was signed by Donald J. Trump on 1 May 2020. And Biden signed his the day he got inaugurated on 20 January 2021. And that's got a lot of us concerned. So we're taking a lot of, wow, I got a nice super chat already from Live in the Field. And he says, go. Thank you. Appreciate that. Have you seen the movie Greenland? No, I've heard about it. I've heard about it's about an asteroid strike. Part of it breaking off, I guess, maybe hitting around Florida, according to the movie. You know, it might have been inspired by the fact we found these craters under the ice in Greenland. So there has been an asteroid strike in Greenland. We believe that coincides probably with the hit that took place on what was believed to be the Laurentide ice sheet back in the last ice age, where we had like two mile thick cap of ice right over North America. That's some serious ice. You know, we find craters, like we call them Carolina Bays, and they all point back to the same direction. Actually, there's like two sets, so this thing probably broke up coming in. We've seen that with comets and other bodies coming in, that they would break up. Or sometimes, you know, you got a comet or an asteroid that's got an asteroid with another asteroid orbiting around it. And a lot of them are just robopiles anyway. Same way with comets. You know, like Shoemaker-Levy 9 broke up into multiple pieces. In fact, it broke up into 21 pieces. And the impacts of comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 actually started on the anniversary. It started on the 16th of July, 1993, I believe it was, or 1994. It was on the 25th anniversary, of the launch of Apollo 11. The biggest impact was on the 20th, which was the anniversary of the landing, and the last impact was right on the anniversary of the splashdown of Apollo 11. Guys, is that weird? Is that weird? It's like Mother Nature celebrated, or that God celebrated. Was this a message? Impact message? See, that was what was really weird. Was it was actually 21 major bodies that broke into. When these hit Jupiter, they created fireballs as big as Earth. As big as Earth. This one comet broke into 21 pieces, and each piece made an impact with a explosion as large as Earth. And you send the Hubble telescope, and they made these huge black spots all over Jupiter that lasted for months. It was weird, but 21 is 3 times 7 for you geometry friends, and I think like 3 is the number for man, and 7 is the number for God. Y'all figure it out. But I thought, you know, is this a message from God to man shooting across our bow to tell us something? That maybe we need to get up there to stop those things from hitting down here. Get all our eggs out on back. What was the message, guys? What was that all about? I mean, it's just two. On the 25th anniversary, exactly, the first manned mission to the moon, these things take place, and it perfectly brackets the mission itself. And it's just 21 impacts. That was weird. Was that weird? Yeah, Ellen thinks it's weird. All right. That Younger Dryas impact may have cost us some atmosphere. I think they all do. I think they all do. I think the Earth's atmosphere has been continuously getting thinner and thinner. I think that's why you used to have bigger creatures. Dinosaurs, you know, only those big brontosauruses that were huge, and their nostrils were only as big as nostrils on a modern day horse. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, they must have had more oxygen in the atmosphere. No, I think the atmosphere was thicker. That's part of what made the world warmer back in those days, is we had a thicker atmosphere. Because the sun was not as strong back in those days. The atmosphere is like a blanket. The sun over time, our sun is actually getting hotter over time. It will continue to get hotter to about the point of about 500 million years from now, you wouldn't be able to live on the planet. Maybe even sooner than that, maybe in 100 or 200 million years. So life has supposedly been multicellular for 500 million years. And there's been life on this planet since the lava rocks first cooled down, which is really odd because that stuff is very complex. That's a good sign for intelligent design of the greater creator, if you know what I mean, right? I mean, to have working cells on the surface of Earth as soon as the lava rocks cooled, how did it happen? How about panspermia? Y'all familiar with that idea? Greg's freaking out here. We can't handle this, right? All right, let's see. Oh, we got Cro-Magnon in the room. All right. Good day for Cro-Magnon to be here. We're going to talk space. We're talking ancient times. We're going to go space. Loch Ness. Yeah. The atmosphere changed after the flood. After every one of these impacts, we've lost atmosphere. I think gravity was less and the critters were huge. Well, no, you know, here's the thing. You take a creature that's really tall. If you took a brontosaurus and put it in our current atmosphere, the current pressure, I would submit to the blood pressure and the blood veins in its ankles would be so great that they would probably rupture. So you probably cannot have a land mammal that big, or a land anything, bird, chicken, dinosaur, lizard. I don't think you can have them as big as you used to. In fact, mammals were bigger in the early ages of mammals, like, you know, what, 50 million years ago, we had larger mammals. So the trend has been downward in size. Atmosphere has been, yeah. So do we all have to become midgets? Will I be pygmies, dwarfs, elves, swelf, thright thing, thing? All right, so let's see. Is heaven physical on one level? Well, that's a good question. You know, I wouldn't have to say there is a physical level to heaven. And if you read the book of Revelations, the New Jerusalem comes. You know, John's got to get on the mountain to see it coming. And it never actually says it touches Earth, but the dimensions of it is a cube, 1,200 miles in every direction. Well, if you set it on Earth, most of it's going to be in what we call space. Anything over 100 miles we consider space. So it would be like the vast bulk of it would be in space. Just a little edge on the bottom would be in the atmosphere of Earth. I mean, and for all intents and purposes, 99% of our atmosphere is at 20 mile and below. When I flew balloons to 20 miles high, they were above 99% of the atmosphere. It was 1%, just like on the surface of Mars today. What about that? Oldest Dirt, how you doing, buddy? Evening, I'm a bit late. That's all right. How you're here. We're still just getting started here. Good evening, Greg says, Jonathan, how you doing? He has seen you earlier on nurses. What? Seen you earlier on nurses earlier. Nurses. What is that? Where have I been? Am I somewhere else? Nurses. You know, people grab my video and do stuff. I've been posting with it living. Do you have springtails in your compost and worms? Yes, yes. Springtails don't hurt anything. Didn't originally, but I had more mites. Once I had the springtails, I don't have so many mites. So I'm I'm kind of happy to have springtails personally. A lot of people don't know what they are. Figure, yeah, I got the red solo cup. Remember my videos, the universe in a solo cup? I talked about that a few things. All right. Judy's in the house. Hey, Judy, how you doing? We have more pressure on us from our magnetosphere, but it's waning and weakening. Yeah, our magnetosphere is going down. That's not physical pressure like air pressure. So what else we got here? Good evening, Greg, says Christy Riddle. How you doing, Christy? Microgreens. Hey, that's a good name. You know, I have grown quite a bit of microgreens and plan to grow a lot more in the near future. And thank you, sir. Deep impact of threat. Well, if you get you know, oceans are over 2/3 of the surface of Earth. Chances are, if we have an impact, it's going to hit an ocean. And you get an impact in the ocean, you can get a ginormous tsunami. Even if it's not as big as the Chicxulub event, a much smaller asteroid could do global damage, at least around the coastlines. It could wipe out all the ports and knock out trade, and it could set us back hundreds of years just because it would shut down all the trade for a long time. Jason Ayers says, the big question I have relates to the amount of potential atmospheric density. How dense could the atmosphere of Mars get given the gravitational pull the planet has? Mars could have a denser atmosphere. I mean, Titan has a dense atmosphere. I think Mars lost a lot of its atmosphere too through erosion by impacts. There's a term for that. And John Lewis, an astronomer from maybe he's in New Mexico. He's in Mexico or Arizona. Maybe Arizona State University. He is Arizona. He's Arizona State University. I've got a bunch of his books back here. Some really good thick books from John Lewis. I think buried up with other books. Oh yeah, there they are, buried behind other things here. Got to move a sandal or two. Give me a second. I've got 2 or 3 books from John Lewis. They're not trivial books, if you will. So these are really serious books, you know, lots of text, lots of analysis. And he is an expert in the subject of asteroid mining. Now, this is not a new book, by the way. This is studies and things that people, we're talking about resources of near Earth space. See, it's Tucson and London. Let's see. This was copyright in 1993. We're going to go to 1993 in a few minutes. You're going to see me from 1993. 1993. So we had a lot of knowledge then about what was out there, and he did a lot of conceptual work on how to get it and get it back here without having to spend so much rocket fuel. He was in favor of using a lot of aerobraking. There's concepts about light cells that could go out there and bring stuff back too. So, all righty, what we got going on in the room? Let me check everybody. You know, handle all this space talk. Y'all know I am a space guy, right? That's what I have had decades of work in the space field. Lots of stuff at all levels. I'm about to show you some of that stuff. If Dad could talk like the handle. Hello. Oh, that's somebody's name, I guess. I was trying to figure out what Mr. Bill Pops was saying there. Dan says, did anyone see the vid from Rome? Priest is laying it out right now. What's happening? You know, you got to be careful of videos going around these days. There's stuff just claiming everything under the sun, you know. So you got to kind of verify some of that stuff. It's kind of hard to verify things too, at least initially. Spaceman says, live in the field. Yeah, you want to see? Hang on, I'm going to show y'all some stuff. I'm going to do some shares, guys. Yeah, I'm a worm man. I'm a gardener. Something of a mountain man. I built a muzzle-loading rifle when I was a teenager, about 16 or 17-year-old. I built my first Hawkins rifle, and I had cap-in ball revolvers, which were black powder revolvers, and I could use to quick draw them. And I built a cabin with a fireplace that worked. I used to spend all my time in the woods growing up, but I was interested in space, military, and history and science. So I've always had interest in all these things. So I'm a hillbilly, and I love bluegrass and a spaceman. Worm farmer and spaceman. Yeah, I'm a country boy. Thank God I'm a country boy. But I'm a space guy too. So tell us your Bigfoot sightings. Yeah, we'll go into that maybe in a little bit. Let's see. Let's do something. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm about to do a share if I can find the right button here. Hang on. I'm going to show you guys me from 1993. All right, so opening session, Huntsville, Alabama, found in the future, 12th International Space Development Conference. And you know who chaired that event? Yours truly. Oh, maybe I want to unmute now. I don't know. Hang on. You know what? This might be a problem. Hope I don't get too much feedback. I got this other computer muted. Okay, this will be okay. Except I can't talk when I'm doing this. I'll just have to be quiet for myself. And hang on, guys, I got it to change my sound settings so y'all can hear it here. This will be okay, except I can't talk when I'm doing this. I just have to be quiet for myself. And hang on, guys, I got it to change my sound settings so y'all can hear it here. Should be okay, except I can't talk when I'm doing this. I just have to be quiet for myself. And hang on, guys, I got it to change my sound settings so y'all can hear it here. Should be okay, except I can't talk when I'm doing this. I just have to be quiet for myself. And hang on, guys, I got it to change my sound settings so y'all can hear it here. Looking back, some interesting things were happening about 50 years ago this time. Actually, 50 years ago this weekend, American forces retook Archival in Alaska from the Japanese. You can see them. I don't know the press we gave them, but we had Kirby Icahn coming from Australia. I guess he's our father's channel. And there's a guy named Delmond. We thought you'd give him the most creative challenge. Remember, has the team, but we'll well an airplane to get here. If somebody sees Delmond, you can tell him. That's what I put out about it. He really went through some strange things to get a trip here. Looking back, some interesting things were happening about 50 years ago this time. Actually, 50 years ago this weekend, American forces retook Archival in Alaska from the Japanese. It was the first retake of American territory during World War II. And that was often called the 1,000-mile war. It was the war fought against the elements. It was real. There's Dale. Okay, don't have to pass the word. He's sitting in front. I'll just look right over it. It was a war fought against some really tough odds. But the thing was, we stuck our neck out and took back what was ours. But it was really an example of American resolve. And all through that war, and several decades ensued, there are many, many examples of resolve, which we determined we were going to do something and we just set up to do it. Today, maybe we need some more lessons in the resolve. Somehow we seem to have lost some of that basis. Other things that were happening 50 years ago was that there was something called the 8-4, which we Americans termed the B-2, which is a rocket that was really beginning to open the space age. You'll find some of the people here at this conference who were the key instrumental people in designing and developing that system. Conrad Denenberg will be here off and on to the regular conference. So we had a big panel at the Space and Rocket Center Saturday night. And understanding it's already sold out. Those like you who pre-registered, you're going to get a heck of a program there and get a whole password of people. The interesting thing I had this thing on World War II when we went 50 years ago and cut back $82. If you were to look at our country at that time, we were really a backwards nation. I mean, the United States had a good culture. We had
had good values, good principles. But technologically and economically, we weren't anything to really brag about. We were still, a world power. But if you look at what we had in those days, it was dirt road. Out in the country, nobody had city water. I mean, people were still most of drawing waters out of the well. There weren't even power available in a lot of areas. A lot of telephones were. The country was primitive. Yet, we found it within ourselves to fight wars on two sides of the world all at once and win them. And we emerged as the world power. And we went from there to fight a Cold War. This shows a lot of resolve and a lot of capability. Today we seem to think we just can't do anything. Here we have a lot of technology, a lot of new things, and so where's the side that come from that we just can't do anything? It's really baseless because we can do a lot, and we need to know that, and we need to understand it, we need to admit it for ourselves and pass that word. We need to communicate it. What we need to pick up is the challenge of space. We need to pick this up as our next challenge to do something there. Really, truly, what we have here in our program is a working conference. You may have looked at some of our sessions. We have some sessions like how we used to make things work, the development on the fast track. The reason we come up with some program like that is, I'm just a young engineer myself. I'm hearing the old guys talk all the time about, gee, we used to just go down and shop and we'd make this, and we'd make that. And they're always telling us about all those great and wonderful things that they used to do. But today, most of us young engineers are still pushing paper and dreaming of doing some of those things. And so we find ourselves saying, gee, what happened? Those were the good old days. I wish I could do some of those things. There's just too much of that being said. So we decided, well, we are the problem here today. We as the National Space Society represent an organization who wants to reach out and develop space to the point of developing human subjects. I mean, we're really ambitious and the goals are grand. But we seem to do well just simply launch rockets these days. So it became a little apparent we had to return to some of our basic fundamentals. We've got to revisit some of these things before we can hope to accomplish our aspirations. That's why we set up stations like development on fast track and how we used to make them work. So it's time to look at these things again. It's time to try to relearn some of those lessons. And we try to bring in some bright people, young and old, who are doing things, doing them on fast track. For instance, we have some people with small scale initiatives. These are guys who are developing experiments, making things fly. They're doing things on their own. One of these guys is down in the back, built cars, but he's got some experiments without built on himself. He's trying to hide himself. We also decided that, we didn't want just another conference that everybody came and essentially heard some good talks. Well, that's a lot of good ideas, and faculty speakers and patted each other back and walked away home. Nothing came out of it. 3 years ago, when I pitched to do this thing in Anaheim, California, I had in mind that if I was going to spend all this time and effort to put a conference together, something better turns out from out of it. So we decided to go beyond having some good talks and sessions and look at some of these fundamental problems that we're facing today in developing space. We set up a Foundry as a workshop, which is intended to be a project incubator. Some of you may have heard of it. How many of you heard of the Foundry? Looks like about half of you. It's a project incubator workshop in which people are presenting some ideas. There's a good brainstorming session, and folks expected to team up and develop some project plans and run through an integration panel to give them some advice for developing the plans, and maybe even plug them in to some of the right people that might make it work for them. We want something concrete to come out of here. I hope that Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, we can have some good ideas about some of the things that come forward out of this conference and let you know about it. We also plan to have some activism activities in this conference. We're at a political crossroads as much as technological and spiritual crossroads in terms of making things happen today. If we're really going to have our dreams accomplished, we've got to take some initiatives and move with it right now.
Good morning, y'all. Okay, I'm not very good at that because I'm from Michigan. Michigan. But we did experience some of the southern hospitality already. I think a few of us were up experiencing that last night, which is why today's last session is very full. There's a wonderful 4.5 days ahead of us. Today's highlights include
Okay, she's going to poke some fun at me. I'm going to go to some other videos. Check this out. Here I am a few years later. 1997.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Greg Allison, president of PAL 5, the chapter of the program on its halo for altitude liftoff.
Hey,
the thing that we're real proud of and we're real happy about is that we had a very interesting mission that we did just on the level we made. And what we did, we have proven that an amateur group can now reach for space because we did it. It's within the grasp, it can be done. And the great news about that is it just put the sudden paradigm shift in the order of magnitude quantum leap we made. This was an entity around for the mega powerful nations, the superpower. That's been around space. It's a exclusive club, superpowers. Now the amateur groups are reaching. I mean, we didn't go with all these intermediate steps. This is a major leap. It's a very exciting time to be involved in space development and do it at this level. It's a lot of fun. And we got a great team. I'm proud of them all. We'll talk a bit more about it. I worked up a very detailed speech here. Everybody knows how image conscious I am. So it's even a good blocks in here, so I have an order. Isn't that a real pretty speech? This is it. We launched the rocket on May. Well, I think that's loud enough. We launched the rocket. Oh, I'm sure about this. We launched the rocket on May. The balloon took off, up and away. At 60,000 feet, the balloon didn't pop. The whole thing started to drop. Immediately, we launched the rocket. Hooray! Thank you. That's it. Oh yeah, I think that's in charge of nothing. I'll be in place. Yeah, the devil's in the details. Okay, I'll put it. Yeah, this is us. Altitude liftoff. And I'll start this thing with objectives, and I'll follow some high-level stuff. The board black and white charts. I'm going to let Bill Brown have some fun with these color slides. But anyway, the objective of our program, the altitude liftoff program, is to greatly reduce the cost of getting student payloads into space and turnaround time. And we found a method to do it. That's called the Rockoon. The interesting thing is that we've done this program up through SL1 on something in the order of about $15,000. Now, what we did for that money is we built a test stand. We fired over 50 static fires on that test stand, our hybrid rockets, which we were developing ourselves. We flew before our SO1 mission 9 altitude balloon flights to the edge of space, 20 miles up with amateur TV cameras transmitting live color video down to the ground. Then we had rocket motor night experiments on these balloon flights. We had cut down event sequencers and goal position satellite receivers, many things on these balloon flights. They were expensive flights, plus whatever. We did a ground-based rocket flight. We went to schools and had field days in the schools. We've done a lot of stuff for this money. And we've been working on it for over 2 years. Well, I sat down and thought about all the people we have working on this program and how much time we put into it, which is quite a bit. And I said, well, what would it cost if this was charged in government rates? Standard, industry practice. About $3 million. And that is for the time actually spent. Of course, if this were a government program, in a traditional sense, the way things used to be, we would have had a big reporting requirements, meetings would have been through, sequel items, whatever. You can figure we would have probably spent $12 million. An experiment like this. If you look and see in fact experiments that haven't
about this in the government years past, you'll find examples like that. They were very expensive. So we think we got a lot, but mostly out of our guys because we're great volunteers. What else don't we worth saying? Basically, I'm not going to read these charts. If you don't see what to say, you better read it. But one of these things. Showing there are two definitions of the actual definition of space: 50 nautical miles and 100 kilometers, which is the international space border. We were hoping to exceed both of those with our experiment. This is a diagram of the rocket system. We had two fire extinguisher tanks to do enough volume for the nitrous oxide, an igniter, and a solid fuel chamber made out of common asphalt. It's a hybrid rocket, very safe to transport.
Skipping ahead.
And we have videos of that at some point.
It's a test stand. And a little deflector plate down there.
The accurate point is a little tough.
That was me after having found our ground launch 1 rocket. Made a post hole. I found it.
Went out about, we estimated 30,000 feet.
That's our ground launch.
Field, and we came up with a high-tech postal digger.
That's me.
It's very efficient at finding the accurate point in this little. This is Al Wright.
Let's see if I find that picture again.
And we came up with quite a few flights.
There's a diagram in here. That was our
mission
diagram.
And parachute.
So I can get that picture up. I want that picture right there. It's hard sometimes. These videos don't always correspond the same.
This is Al Wright, and he is preparing to fuel a rocket with nitrous oxide.
Oh, well.
And this is our first launch. It was perhaps the most impressive amateur rocket I've ever seen. And I've seen some pretty big ones.
Here's our balloon launch from the year next year.
University of Wyoming developed that system.
This is our Sky Launch 1 rocket.
Covered styrofoam piece that cradles the balloon in the launcher, and it's like.
I'll return to talk about it.
Also, we saw that between the rocket video, which wasn't particularly aesthetically appealing, except for maybe one or two frames and say once. And the balloon video, the rocket transmitter was twice as powerful, but the balloon transmitter had the power to get a much better image because the antenna was pointing down. It's a good arrangement. And you're not supposed to have these antennas that are metal. Almost our entire rocket body was conductive, to include the fins, which were carbon positive, regular kind of camera video from the rocket. And the motor case. Now, one thing, you know, our fuel was asphalt. Motor case was a high-tech carbon fiber round motor case. So putting a radio antenna on the rocket is a challenge, right? And the reason we didn't put the rocket TV antenna in the nose cone, which would have been the best place for it, was that it was interfering with the GPS receiver because they were so close together, and we wanted to get good GPS data. So a combination of the antenna pattern.
So we got a video here somewhere.
That did it. That was a cliffhanger. Oh, we had many funny stories associated with the program. One of them is that Tim Higgins is our rocket man, and he always says, "I hate balloons. I hate dead young balloons." That's what he says. And he makes sure he tells Bill Brown that, and you have to be ready. But it's a lot of fun. It turns out he launched the balloon, which really wasn't the intention. And then when he decided to take a pit stop, because the rocket fire was still at least 30 minutes away, and he comes back and we're going, "Tim, we launched the rocket." He thought we were lying to him. So the rocket man launched the balloon, missed the rocket launch.
I think we got a video here of this
the
launch.
GPS system on prior to that. And we're gonna try to push redundancy in there next time again and have some dissimilar means of altitude verification.
You can see the rocket nozzle and the smoke pouring back out of this frame. That's still framed to this point to show you the early points of the rocket ignition.
That's back when we had everything on tapes and regular TV.
Back in the back.
We had live video from it. That's not a good rendition of it. I should be able to copy it down. I'll show you video of our another launch we did, maybe here in a minute. So let's see. Here I am in another conference. This is near 2000. This is astronaut Dan Brandenstein. He'd been a shuttle commander.
Of our organization. And while many of our members are widely distributed geographically, and we're all able to be here, we do have welcome to chapter members that do participate in this event and other events around the country and throughout the year. Like I said, they're the lifeblood of our organization. And
by this point, I became vice president of chapters in the National Space Society in the year 2000.
tell us more about this. So we have the vice president for chapters, Greg Allison, who, if you were at the convention last year, you will notice that he's in your shadow of his former self, and he's trying to travel incognito.
Thank you, Dan. Well, I'm Greg Allison. I'm the president of the Huntsville, Alabama L5 Society. It's a great honor for me. And I'm also vice president for chapters, which is another great honor for me for the National Space Society.
It irked their souls that I would claim my local office before I claimed my national office. I always did that. Those people that always were so enamored of their headquarter office, especially when I went up in charge of everything. In the end, that just kind of irked them. They got used to it after a while, but they had, they had some egos that I kind of jerked the carpet out from under a time or two there.
And it's a real rewarding thing, working with all the chapters. Before I get into everything else I'm going to talk about here in the next little bit, I would like to say something about the Tucson group. I first encountered the Tucson group in 1983. I was taking a little bitty drive down from Alaska to Alabama. And I decided just to stop in and visit what was the L5 Society headquarters, and found out they had a chapter meeting that night and invited me over to potluck dinner. And I got to tell you, these guys have just enormous hospitality. They're all very nice.
All right, that's enough of that. Just talking about, just kind of congratulating them. So we had an awards banquet. Gave out a lot of awards for the various things. We'll go on to another video. Same kind of event next following.
It's my privilege this evening to introduce you to the Master of Ceremonies for this evening's presentations. Many of you will know Greg Allison, our Vice President for Chapters. I'm almost tempted to take the microphone away for those who've seen Greg present at previous conferences. May I introduce Greg Allison.
Look at the awards right there. You see those? Hey, I got one of them right here. I'll show you later.
Well, I know you were expecting Bruce Boxleitner, and well, I may not be from Babylon 5, but I am from HAL 5. The Huntsville, Alabama L5 Society, HAL 5, that's one of our local NSS chapters. I do want to extend a hearty thanks and appreciation to the Albuquerque chapter of the National Space Society and the Albuquerque section of the AIAA.
All right, enough of that one. We'll go forward a few years here. It's not everything out here. This is me in 2004. Oh, this is the great launch debate. This is a wholly different thing. I was already executive vice president of the National Space Society at this point. You can see I'm wearing an X Prize pin here on my lapel. That's an X Prize pin. I actually have it here. You had to be an X Prize team member to get that pin.
Hey, I'm gonna press the button. Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute. That's the end of that one. Yeah. Now y'all might remember Rex Bear had Bob Zuber on his show recently. There's Bob. So I introduced me.
Park, which is an entrepreneurial firm also pushing rocket technology involved in such things as the X Prize. And most importantly of all, is his resume, is the CEO of the National Space Society.
Okay, I was already chairman of the executive committee then. He introduced me as the CEO of the National Space Society. So I would introduce myself as the chapter president of the HAL 5 chapter. So yes, I was the person in charge. I was the CEO of the National Space Society and chairman of the policy committee too. That's true.
Well, thank you, Mark. Same range there. Well, you guys know, I really want to go to Mars. Us good old boys from Alabama, we know all that fine red soil on Mars is going to be good for us. Growing cotton. Now, I'm really a strange creature, you know. By day, I work at Jekyll and Hyde at that. I work at NASA at the daytime on various projects, and then nights and weekends, I'm doing Park, you know, my own entrepreneurial company for rocket development. So it gives me a rather interesting perspective on how we ought to go about going into space, because I see things from a lot of different angles. You know, I got some questions to ask you. How many of you want to see people living, thriving in communities in space and beyond? Raise your hands. All right, good. Now, how many of you would be happy if all we got out of this Moon Mars initiative was an Antarctic base out there somewhere? Raise your hand.
Which base?
An Antarctic type base, just out there somewhere. In Moon, Mars, I don't know. How about flags and footprints? Come on, come on. How about the next X program? You know, when I'm at NASA, I like to tease people. I tell people that I'm working on the next X project. They love that.
I said that because so many programs used to get canceled.
Anyway, well, I can tell by your enthusiasm what you're interested in. I'm gonna tell you what, it's gonna take the private sector to lead us there. This new initiative that we're talking about, this is just what the nation actually needs. It gets NASA, the government sector, out of lower orbit, exploring outwards. We do need to kill the shuttle and the station programs after they finish their immediate research objectives. Why? Because we don't need another bureaucratic program like the shuttle that keeps commercial companies from developing light service provisions. Because that kind of entity is not going to get us there. It's like Bob said earlier today, where did the show get us all these years?
All right, y'all don't want to hear this whole thing. I'm not going to play the whole thing, reading my whole segment. But you can see all these other guys talking. So I'm just giving y'all a little flavor, and we'll talk. I'll just skip through a few of these. Here I'm being introduced by Lori Garver, actually, again. Saw me and her on the stage in 1993. This is many years later, a dozen years later, I guess.
From the host group, and I believe Greg Allison is now executive vice president. That's true.
Well, now that we've just had our calisthenics, PT, as those of you in the military remember, it's time to go in maneuvers. It's time to go into action. So I thought I'd talk about two kinds of action. One, projects. That's something a lot of people can get their hands wrapped around. And the other, political activism. That's something that a lot of other people can get their hands wrapped around. They're both needed. I'm also, in addition to being executive vice president and chairman of the policy committee, I am the president of the Huntsville, Alabama HAL 5 Society. So that's part of our O'Neillian roots there, as Rick has pointed out. And some of you guys might know that some of us got involved in a crazy little project we called HALO, or High Altitude Liftoff. This was an air-launched from a balloon hybrid rocket program that used a nitrous oxide hybrid rocket. We've been hearing a little bit about that kind of stuff lately, haven't we? So,
yeah, because we gave an award at that event to Burt Rutan for flying air-launched hybrid rocket. And our rocket was the daddy of his rocket. Yeah, here, I'm just going to show the opening scene here. You can just see that, you know, I was always in these videos. I was a bunch, not all of them, but a bunch of them. Here, I'm just drinking wine with, I don't know, somebody down here in the floor. Let's see, where's that at? Opening scene or something like that. I think this is at the Udvar Hazy Museum in Washington, D.C. area. There you go. Anyway, that's enough of that one. Should we create space colonies? This is 2004. Oh, a step backwards.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rick Allison, chairman of the Executive Committee of the National Space Society. Have a good time here at this conference. I'm really enjoying what this host committee is now for us here. I'll say just a few words about our speaker tonight. Our speaker is Dr. Kit Ray. He is the senior scientist at the Defense Civil Institute of Environmental Medicine.
You can see me grow up there a little bit over the years in that endeavor. So I just give you a few ideas there. Let's see if I can do another video here. You might want to see. Give me a minute here. 8E. Oops. That brings up. There we go. This is my. That's what we were doing. That was my last. That was our last launch right here. This is the Heart Cancer Prize Rockoon. 17 foot long. That was Bill Brown saying he hoped it didn't drop now. It was right overhead. Still rocking as it's going up. All right, that's the boat called a Mr. Offshore, 200 miles out in the Gulf of Mexico. And actually, I was lost at sea at that moment in what was supposed to be the recovery boat. That's another long, long story. All right, guys. So I'm going to be discombobulated from my video because somehow the video that I got started on this chat room is way off from the video that's, let me stop share. Somehow it's way off from the video that's playing on my laptop here. So it got stopped. So it's lagging greatly. It had about the lag was already pretty big. I wonder what happened if I hit refresh on the screen. Anyway, so let me see what people are saying in the chat room here. Creating space colonies to maximize the resources available. There you go. So yeah, I am a spaceman. This world needs more Gregs. Well, thank you, Jessa. See, I am a space guy. And in fact, I decided to bring my awards down here from my rack. I had them upstairs. I did a space video last night for Galactic Gregs. This is my Space Pioneer Award for entrepreneurship, basically, that I got back in 1997. That year I made that presentation. And it's a moon globe. Isn't that nice? So I was new space before there was a word for it. Long before Elon Musk came along. The only difference was he had money. I didn't. He had $500 million from selling PayPal. I said if I'd have went into finance or something else and made a lot of money, maybe I would have went a lot further, right? That's for me found in the Huntsville, Alabama L5 Society. I gotta clean that up. And this was given to me by my team that ran the 1993 International Space Development Conference. Let's see the plaque down there. I don't know, maybe you can. So I got a few nice awards. Excuse me. So yes, I am actually a space guy. It's kind of funny. A lot of times in some of my earlier videos, particularly where I started talking about disease, mathematics, and or technical topics, some of the viewers got on, what's this wire man talking about this stuff for? Oh yeah, really? You know, my collegiate sport was mathematics. I was on the math team at my college, and I was happy we placed in the upper third of the universities in the United States, and we beat Carl Sagan's Cornell University. I was especially proud of that. So there we go, guys. So yeah, you've seen me now. Hey, you asked about red. My hair's still red. Just my beard has turned white. This stuff here, it's not turned except for right around my temple. But you know, my hair is still red, guys. I got a couple of gray hairs up there, but it's mostly red. By far. Mostly still red. Anywho, let's see what everybody, beautiful trophies. Oh my God, wow. Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. I've done lots of crazy stuff. More stuff than most space guys have done. You know, I've chaired a conference that was a of course, I chaired my power grid defense conferences, 2 of them. Chaired a space conference, international space conference. I chaired some local space conferences. And I got this because I chaired a constitutional convention for a space government. Sure enough. Imagine that. So when I want to take on and build a freedom restoration foundation, if I talk about going and doing things in Congress, guys, I've done it. Been there, done that. And here was an article. This article, this is the Asteroid magazine, the magazine of the National Space Society. This was an issue that came out in winter of 2010. It was 2010 that I departed from National Space Society. This was one of my last articles that I wrote. And I always have been poetic, and I've always liked to alliterate from way back. You heard me reading poetry basically to my presentation in 1998 concerning constellations, cancellation, Congress, and camels. You know, alliteration is the old Anglo-Saxon Nordic form of poetry. I know Odin is actually did you know he was actually the god of farming and the god of poetry? Everybody think of him as just a war god, right? I'll have some fun with that stuff. Don't take me too serious, guys. But what this article was about the fact that there was a war in Congress at this point in time between the forces that wanted the space launch system or something like that and commercial space. And Congress was pretty much divided. I mean, these two sides were like scorched earth. Is one or the other or neither. And the president was aiming to kill the big launch vehicle stuff. Now, you just saw actually at that that big space debate, I was arguing against having a heavy lift launch vehicle, which I was actually working on. But so you fast forward to when that program got canceled, actually, Constellation program, by none other than Lori Garver, who we were introducing each other in several of those other conferences. So she basically canceled my job. But I managed to hold on anyway. And so we were talking about this whole next step. Senator Shelby wanted a larger vehicle, just like Constellation, to come back. And so did, the follow-on head of NASA did. But let's see, well, he had started it earlier. Never mind that. The current head of NASA and Lori Garver didn't want this. The new president, Barack Obama, was one with them. Senator Shelby was pulling for it, and he had a lot of senators on the side, but Senator Nelson was a Democrat. He didn't want to upset his president, but he knew he had a lot of jobs in this area, so he was actually divided on it. I went to Senator Nelson's office the day before that he had to make a decision what to do. I walked in with a compromise written out in my hand, and I handed it to Colonel Paul Damphus, who was his head staffer on space affairs. He was a Marine colonel who I knew him. I met him at other space conferences. So I walked in and I handed him this compromise, and Damphus grabbed it just like this, and he just went, "Man, I like this." He said, "I really like this," and he took it to Senator Bill Nelson, and that's what Bill Nelson adopted. Bill Nelson adopted my plan, my idea, and that's how today we have both commercial space and SLS today. They made that compromise. It might have been one or the other or neither, because there was a lot of forces wanted to kill and not have an SLS. But the problem with that was you had so much contractors over here. If you shut them down, they were going to fight the other side and scorched earth. I mean, basically already knew that Shelby would try to cancel the other stuff outright, and he might have pulled it off too. So it had the prospects of being an ugly situation. But today we got both programs in full bore, and you can see it may be Monday that we may see another launch of the space launch system, not space launch system, of the we're way different, of Starship from Elon Musk program. Now everybody said, well, Elon Musk is commercial. Well, not entirely. He's got a whole lot of his money from the government, and a moon program is a part of what he's relying on to develop a lot of his subsystems. So that is still an ongoing program, and both have flourished under this compromise. Flourished quite nicely, actually. So it has worked out. At the time, when that was made, the SpaceX was not reliable. They had a lot of stuff blowing up, and it looked like maybe NASA would be the more reliable of it. But now SpaceX is just, I mean, that's the way it's going. But he still had a lot of unknowns to work out. You know, it's not a given that that's going to work. There's also Jeff Bezos is doing his New Shepard. Bezos wants to do colonies in space, and he wants to do asteroid mining, which I favor that more than going to Mars for a lot of reasons. More than Mars has got its own place. I'm going to do a video on galactic when we absolutely have to go to the moon soon. Maybe I should put it on this channel too, because of the defense aspects of the military high ground of how China could take the moon and just take over this whole world. I guarantee that could happen. They could take over this whole world if we let them have sole access to the moon. They're planning to go there. They know that. Do we know it? I hope so. I'm definitely going to say it. And remember, I started out that '93 space conference talking about us taking back Attu Island, talking about military affairs. You saw me talk about talking to military speaking. And well, guys, you know, I've got the military, I've got space, and I got farming. Yeah, and poetry. I'd make Odin proud, wouldn't I, if he were around today? Or maybe he'd kick me. Well, anyway, yeah, just have them a little fun here. Don't take me too serious on that. So let me see what people are saying here. Space Constitution. Yes, I did. I chaired a constitutional convention for mankind in space. I sure did. So I might know a little about this Constitution. I was cited in an article written by none other than Buzz Aldrin, cited me in an article talking about space property rights. So yeah, I got a few credentials. It's kind of funny. I started my Galactic Greg's channel, you know, about a year later than this one. I haven't done so many videos over there, but I posted one on the SpaceX web user group on Facebook. And I was talking about, you know, they had one of their test articles blew up on the stand, which, you know, it's suspected in the early days and stuff like that. And I was sitting out in the wreckage of the DCX rocket that's in my backyard doing this video. And somebody on that channel had the audacity, oh, what are y'all letting this newcomer come on this channel for? And then he cited off some other YouTube channels, had space guys, bigger, you know, space channels on YouTube. So why don't you should only hear from these guys. Why ain't let this guy on here? It's like, oh, really? They're the newcomers, and you're a knucklehead. You're a fool. Because, hey, I help make sure that SpaceX is able to do what they're doing And I was sitting in the wreckage of the D6 rocket, which I pushed forward to be a program when I was chairman of the phone tree back in the old, earlier National Space Society days. And it just so happens that I got in the space, the DCX Hall of Fame. And y'all may see Ransom do video. He's got a video he's posted a few times. It's got me talking freedom and some other stuff. And it's on this 420 Freedom is Film site now. He just put it up again. And that video, he does a lot of it from the Alamogordo Museum. He actually videos into the museum itself. And I've been in there, and they had a when I was online, they did the guy who started that program, the program manager, Bill Gallbatz, put me at the top of the list in the Hall of Fame that he set up. He had a DCX Hall of Fame because I pushed it politically. And now I got the remnants of it in my backyard for different reasons, by the way. Well, don't everybody have a rocket in their backyard? But it just so happens that, so here's this knucklehead, just because I hadn't been on the YouTube, because I kind of stepped out of the space arena for a few years in terms of the public stuff from 1910. He didn't know who I was. And so who's this newcomer? You don't want this newcomer here? And so, oh, yeah. You are the newcomer. These other guys you referenced are all newcomers, but not me. They may have bigger channels than me, but hey, so what? I'm no newcomer. I bring, they're like journalists, maybe. I am a space engineer. I design things. I got my design flying on the International Space Station right now. I got a rocket in my backyard, which I helped. And that rocket was a forerunner in many ways, an inspiration for the spaceship, for Elon Musk, for Jeff Bezos and these guys, the reusable rockets that take off and land vertically. That's what it did. It flew like a helicopter, flew several times. Anyway, yeah, had some fun. So let's see what you guys are saying. We get off all this rocket stuff now. We can go talk about worms and gardening and normal green Greg stuff. We're almost having a galactic Greg show here tonight. But I just thought it'd be funny. You guys have been with me now for a couple of years, most of you, a little bit longer. And also we've been going about not quite 2.5 years on this channel. And so just a chance for you guys to see me from years ago. We've had so many chat sessions. So now you know what I looked like many years ago. So maybe you met me live, like Connie. She was out at LeakCon. A few of you were. So let's see here. Mighty fine cut young man you were, Greg. Well, thank you, Richard. He is mooning us. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to. Excuse me. People got run. Only 84? Did I run everybody off? Still on the ball. Beautiful trophies. Oh my God. Wow. Let's see. Never judge a book. That's right. So I came in here, on this channel as the worm farmer, and some people just couldn't handle it. Hey, what's he telling us about all this other stuff? What's he talking about that stuff? He just don't do nothing. Yeah, one person who don't do math. And one of my comments on this channel, oh, don't be doing math. Who are you? You're a worm farmer. Oh yeah. Yeah. So John Sobro still wore in Congress. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. No kidding. Ellen, I like it. And Vicky, old saying, little minds natter about people. Average minds talk about things. Great minds discuss ideas. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Yeah, Vicky's so sharp. She's always got some of the best comments. That's what we try to do here, is talk about ideas. So now y'all see that I am indeed a rocket man. I tell you, I'm a space guy. Truly galactic individual. Yeah, there's always the haters. There's always so many people will see a video. They won't even watch it. They'll just see the title. And they'll go in the comment section. Well, it's all about this. No, you're wrong. It's this. I go, and often that's exactly what I said in the video. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what the video's about. That's exactly what I said. What are you talking about? Or they'd be way off. It's like, oh, you didn't watch the video. I have some fun with that. Fascinating. So, well, thank you, Jessa. I don't remember at Judy Dow. I'll try to find it. You're working for us. Gorgeous raw pieces of property, though. Raw pieces of property. So you're talking about property. Oh, by the way, I guess my property in Arizona's for real, because I did get a tax. I noticed. So notice the value. So it's my chance to dispute their estimation of the value of the property. So there you go. I'm okay with math, like a D. Says Granny. I'd have to bring worms in. Too cold now. Oh, frogs singing yet? They were out here singing a couple nights ago, but it turned cold again. They quit. We had some rain. It warmed up. The frogs actually, they usually start in February. We're real close to February. They started just a little bit earlier. So we've had people singing 2 nights here already, but not tonight. Last night was cold. It's probably gonna be cold tonight. Let me see what the temperature projections show. Check my temperature projections tonight, because it was actually below freezing outside a little bit ago. And it got below freezing quick, but the projections weren't that cold. Now it's only going down about what it is now. So it's already as cold as it's going to be all night. Okay, 30 degrees, so I don't have to go heat up the greenhouse tonight. I did last night. I went up and fired up my little shop heater this morning. It's like 3:30 before I did the other video for Galactic Gregs. Yeah, I just did a video on Galactic Gregs on the sea launch. Anyway. Okay, I'm seeing an estimate for what I'll probably be paying for taxes and on my property, and we're guessing about $300 a year. It's about what I pay on this house here, but Alabama's super low in taxes. So I don't have a house on the property there. It's 40 acres. I got 40 acres. 40 actually, it's, according to this, it's about 40 and a quarter. It's not 40 acres exact. According to this thing from Navajo County. Property located in Navajo County Tax Assessor, Cami Darris. And acreage is 40.27. So it's just over 40 and a quarter of an acre. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. You know, there are people that grow and make a living off of a quarter of an acre, guys. A quarter of an acre. Make a fabulous living off of a quarter acre, guys. So I'm excited. I'm really excited here. This, they've got, you know, I can just put a well in back here. I'm gonna have to put a well in there. I'm gonna have to be off the grid there. I'm gonna probably just do that from the get-go. People want to see me do solar. I'll probably be doing solar there. Connie says 65 and sunny in Denver today. Well, you got warmer today than we did, Connie. Great. My works are doing good. Okay. And let's see what else we got. Ain't normal. What ain't? Look how it's warm there, Connie. Well, it's cooler here in Alabama than it is in Colorado right now. Yeah. I don't know what the lead con was. May, I think. Year before, what was it? Last year? Year before last. Again, it's all running together now. Yeah, got a little bit. I got just a little bit of cow. I got 2 acres right here, 1.9 actually. So I own 42 acres, 2 in Alabama and 40 in Arizona. Did any worms of yours fly in space? Not yet. Not yet. I think I'll be sending some up. I probably should do some space worms, right? And I refuse to consider buying any property further east than I did. An imagined fault is deep. Could literally split the U.S. in 2. Yeah, that might be a problem, me going back and forth. What do you think? Way too warm. A little over 1 here. 1 degree. My phone down. Yeah. Hang on, guys. I'm on a hot spot for this for the chat room y'all watching. Oh, here's the last time I didn't have a beard at all. It was when my daughter graduated from college. Yeah, it was a little thick. I look better with a beard, right? It's my youngest. She's out dancing. Her hair is thrown in the air from dancing. Here, look how some money I got. Yeah, I've got the inspiration to do a book about Saddam Hussein. And yeah, the Shroud of Turin. It would be, it was going to be, and I think I'll still do it, a end time techno thriller. Kind of like the Left Behind series. I got all the Left Behind books are back here. There's books about writing books here, and space books too. I got space books upstairs. I got a bookshelf over here with my college books in it, all kind of stuff I've got. Man, I don't even have enough bookshelves. I got all kind of books all over this house. When the grid goes down, you won't be able to go to the internet anymore. You need books. Get books. I need to write some more books, right? Something I'll need to be doing. Get books. I just did some videos, quite a few of them talking about grid down. So check them out. And the thing about these videos are, yeah, go on and check them out, because maybe I should bring them up, guys, just to show them to you. We're talking about what to do to fix it in all these videos. That's what we really need to do. We need to get our grid fixed. You know, guys, like I just did an interview with Command Sergeant Major Mike Mabey. You know, Command Sergeant Major is high as you go in enlisted ranks. And this man's a real hero. He is really sharp. And he's done a lot to help us with, defend our grid. And I've had General Krosniak on my channel. I've had Dr. Peter Pry on my channel. I've had Ambassador Cooper, and Ambassador Cooper is probably going to be on my channel again next week. And Ambassador Cooper ran the Strategic Defense Initiative Office under Ronald Reagan. He was Mr. Star Wars. You know, I've had top level Pentagon people on my channel. So, you know, I hear all these other channels talking, I know somebody that's in the Pentagon. I know somebody, I got a contact, and kind of sort of blah, blah, blah. Hey, I brought them on my channel. These guys don't have nothing over me. So there we go. Oh, Amanda, how you doing, babe? Amanda in the room, Amanda B. The Bible would be the best book. Well, I got Bibles near you. Definitely got some Bibles. I have one right there, but that was my John Lewis book. Oh, I got Bibles all over the house. I got them upstairs. I got a couple back here. That pile right here. And it's easy to get to. All I got is reach right here. You'll see it's used. This one was given to me, I think. It's a gift. And you can see the pages are marked, okay? I like the ones with, I like these older ones that's got all these pictures in them. You know, I always like those kind of Bibles, especially when I was a kid. Yeah, here in the back it's got kind of a little dictionary even with illustrated. Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat? I love these kind of books. All kind of cool stuff in it. There you go. So, Sword of Truth. There you go. So, got everybody talking to each other. That's good. So, for people that are just coming in here and never been in one of my live sessions before, I don't usually pick a topic, you know, usually, or if I do, it's brief. But these are just mainly times for my subscribers to be able to talk to each other. This is a community session. That's what, if you're new to my channel, and especially this is the first time you ever come on a live session, that's what this is about. And if you've never seen any of my videos before, subscribe to my channel. I got tons of great videos here. Bang the update notification bell and click on. Right, guys? So we got a lot of cool stuff in here. We especially have a lot of cool people. Your swivel heads all. Vortex of Dew said, oh, what happened? I just scrolled it and lost it. There's these messages scrolled. Kingdom Come. All right, where'd he go? Oh, well. Wow, there's been a lot of messages in here. Hit the down button, go down the bottom, see where we're at. If I were going to DC, wear nose plugs for the foul swamp. Judy Dow says, I have 3 John Casey books, prepping, homesteading books, garden. There you go. There you go. And I love older books about coal processing. There you go. Huge dictionary, Shakespearean language. Jesus, Sermon on the Mountain. There you go, Richard. Yeah, somebody after my Wednesday session had the audacity and questions to ask me if I worship the devil. I was like, you don't watch my channel, do you? No way. Oh my gosh. Okay, somebody, I do tease, I cut up. But if anybody, you don't know me, you might take things at face value, and you're not going to be hitting the bullseye when it comes to me and my channel. I like to have a little fun. I like to cut up. What's wrong with that? And it's good to know background and history and where people come from and different philosophies. I'm good with that, right? Let's see what everybody's saying here. A lot of fakes out there. That's true. Mind is best book to search. Okay. All right, Amanda. Some people say open up your mind. I think if I clean my head open, it probably wouldn't work too good. So, conversations. That's the way we share what's on our mind. Casey said there would be 3 areas near us that would have volcanoes. Southern California, the Northwest, and somewhere in Arkansas, and a little in the Dakotas. Well, a long time ago, there used to be these back in the days of the dinosaurs, there was these kind of volcanoes, they called them hyper shots. Because most volcanoes are shooting up from the lithosphere, the upper crust of the earth. But they shot from down in the mantle. They shot from deep up through the crust. And when they shot through, they shot with such pressure, it was just like a borehole coming up. And, those things must have just been explosive when they erupted. I mean, that had to shoot real high because it was under so much pressure. And we have in our historical knowledge, and not in the last few million years, there's never been a volcano like that. But that's where the diamonds come from. Now, you go to Arkansas where they're digging up diamonds. That was at one time the site of a hypershot volcano. Because the diamonds come from deep. They don't come from the volcanoes that we're getting today are at. Ooh, we don't want to see those kind of volcanoes on Earth. Ow, that would be a rough day. That would be a really rough day. So we're blessed that we're not dealing with that. I got to tell you that. So let's go through and see what folks are saying. I'm just scrolling through some of the notes. I don't know if I can read them all today because they yap too long. So keep open the notes. Ellen's story. If you could see both Mount Pelée and the Caribbean and one of Italy's, either Mount Etna or Vesuvius, go off the same time, we have 90 days to evacuate the West Coast. Really? So you think they're about to go? Is that what you're saying? You need no deadlier weapon. I suppose you're talking about the mine there, Nene. Champions in chat. He ate a fried worm. McIntosh ate live worms on his chat sessions. He and a lady went by a crazy worm lady. Hadn't seen her in a while. We are at all S. Hooks in the book How to Eat Fried Worms. I got recipes on worms, by the way, in a lot of the worm books. There's actually recipes. A lot of people do that. The super volcano in southern Italy, Southern California is waking up. Now in Italy, what it's about? Yeah, no, they got one that's got a huge caldera there. Big Northern in danger. Amanda. Halo says, retard commentator. Jason says it takes a whole lot of pressure to make carbon and gases form and crystallize. That's right. Man, Jason has got some good stuff. Jason is into the chemistry. Jason, he's actually made black powder on his channel. Something I'd like to do one day, make up some black powder. I think that'd be a lot of fun, make some good videos. He's already done that. So go to Jason's channel. Jason's real practical. Jason will show you videos where he's gone through his yard and he counts up, how many plants he's got and what he can grow, what he expects to produce, and how he's going to feed his family with his garden. That's a good way to look at things. Really good. And when you're in survival mode, especially like our ancestors used to be, that's the way you lived every day. Foxfire says, you talking about the Foxfire books? Oh yeah, I got them. I got Foxfire books. I built my fireplace when I was 16. I built a cabin, and I used the Foxfire book as a guide to build my fireplace. Ooh, that fireplace worked really good, really good. Yeah, so I even thought about doing my own little Foxfire kind of books. When I was in high school, we got to do reports, and I did 2 Foxfire type reports. One of them, I think, was on the fireplace, either that or my corncob pipes. And the other one was on, I think I did it on the corncob pipes. And the other one was on blacksmithing. So I have a blacksmith forge. So hi Greg, how is your house concept that we keep teasing? Yeah, I've been meaning to do that, and I've got some content about it on the channel, but I'm planning to do a dedicated video to it, probably maybe this weekend, if I can. There's been a lot of things happening, just a lot of events going on, and that's kind of knocked me out of that. Okay, let me get back down to the bottom again. I'm just trying to scroll back up to the notes some. All right, yeah, that's a wave of sort washing over Australia is profound. Weekly permaculture and agro-grow shows live every Wednesday at the moment. Now, I was in your first live session there, wasn't I, Jason? I believe it was. Amanda, what was it? It says, what was here get destroyed over and over? Yeah, that's why we may have to hunker down. You should do books, Greg, says Jesse. I've got basically a worm book written. I need to revise it. But I've got a little guide I send out to people, but I've got a more extensive worm book. I've written NASA type books, quite a few things. I've written books that are baseline of risk management plans and system safety plans and reports and big old things. That's not the kind of book y'all want to read. Amanda is right. Survival needs mental strength. You're right about that. Have you recently talked about CO2 and it's affecting our globe or not? Well, I'm inclined to think you're a little bit hard pressed to find any proof of anthropocentric, if I got that right, global warming, the human-caused global warming. It's hard to really prove that case. There's a lot of people going, it's the science, it's the science. Well, okay. Most of the scientists don't. There's tons of scientists that are climatologists that don't agree with that. I know 3 climate scientists. None of them agree with it, the ones I know. One of them is retired, and he more worked at Boeing. His degree was in that area, but his profession was engineering physicist, basically. The other 2 work climate science specifically. And the first guy was Ernie Gilmer. The other 2 guys are Roy Spencer, and y'all have heard a lot about Roy Spencer, I'm sure, and John Christie. You've probably heard of the UH satellite data. I went to UH. That's my college. That's where I went to school. Is that bona fide? Is that bona fide? What is this? Oh, that's my sticker said I made magna cum laude and I'm about to lose it. It's falling off. Probably gonna lose this. Magna cum laude. Got turmeric in my fingernails, pardon me. See, I was magna cum laude. About to lose my sticker. I won't lose that. Where did it go? Yeah, I'm gonna lose that if I'm not careful. I'll stick it back up under the plastic or something. Oh, the plastic's busted. Oh, I see. It was up here. There was two of them. One of them's come off. See, there's one of them right there. This one was up here and it came out. The glue, it was, the sticker was put on, it's come out. Magna cum laude. If I hadn't been a single parent, raising two kids and Mr. Mom at the time, especially my last year, my grades dropped some my last year just because I was struggling. What's this? Just get a lot of awards when I was in the Army. What was this for? Oh, Certificate of Achievement. Awesome. Yeah, my last duty base, Fort Greely, Alaska. So was I in Alaska? Yes. Did I go to UAH? Yes. Well, am I a space guy? Yeah, you've seen it all today. There's my awards, the videos, the magazine article. Yeah. I might be bona fide. And I'm a hillbilly too. So there we go, guys. That's a little bit about Greg Allison. If you look me up, there's probably still some. You look up Greg Allison and word space and ignore all the leak project videos that's out there now and links to that. You'll see I'd get a lot of stuff with space. If you used to, you could put rocket in, you saw a lot of stuff about my Halo rockets, but a lot of those articles have dropped off the internet now. There might still be a few out there. A lot of the Halo stuff is gone. But Michelle C., Bachelor of Science Nursing, Emory University. Love Sciences. There you go. Awesome certificate, says Amanda. Thank you. Vicky Salvage says, what humans can do to affect planetary temperature is lost in the variables of other influences. Amen. So I was just showing that to show that I'm from UAH, the school that Roy Spencer and the satellite data comes from. We have the National Science and Technology Center, which is a joint project between UAH and NASA Marshall and NASA in general. And I've been there many times, or a few times. The hillbilly's the best part, says John. I agree. There we go. So, yeah. You can take a boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. There's still a lot of country inside this guy. So that's kind of funny, you know. That's why, you know, I can hear some guy like John. I met old Mike Bloomersberger, and you know, he's all high and mighty because well, he's an engineer, and he's just looking down his nose at all the farmers. So the heck with you, knucklehead. I did a video where I made a lot of fun of him. Tore him up with poetry, and I ripped him good. So you can check through my video channels. You'll see where I tore into him real well. So I tore into a few people. Actually, on both parties. Hillbillies rule. Amen. It's by design, easier to control. What's easier to control? We got a dink, 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 and that. Okay. Thumbs, okay. Is that like sign language? Well, we've got 164 likes. That's good. I appreciate that, folks. 107 people in the room right now. That's pretty good. That's pretty decent. So, yeah, I'm not up like some channels get 600, 1,000 in the room, but maybe we'll work on that. We'll work on that. Living left field. I love extra special when you can make pie or wine the same food. All right. Hey, man, I can cook some good pie. This pecan pies. Pecan pie is my specialty. I don't use any white sugar or any white corn syrup. I can do it totally without corn syrup. And I make killer pecan pie. And mine are pecan pies. It's not some syrup gelatin with a veneer of pecans on top. It's pecans through and through. And I usually bake them where they're not, really soft. I like to bake them down a little bit. You cut them with a steak knife. That's what you get a lot of pecans in too. Anyway, Cro-Magnon says, small channels are better, especially typically a good sign. Yeah, well, you do want to grow your channel. That really helps in many ways. Much love, my fellow swivel heads. Greg says, Brandy. Well, thank you. The sun warms the planet. That's right. Jason isn't. Yeah. So carbon. It's true that we've emitted more carbon. Yeah, we burn stuff. But we're probably returning carbon to the atmosphere that was once in the atmosphere. Think about that. In fact, the Himalaya mountains sequestered a lot of carbon out of the atmosphere when they formed. The fossil fuels. Well, I don't know about oil. Some people think that's really produced by Earth, especially when it comes so deep down. But the coal fields, all that was carbon. It was once in the atmosphere. The Earth's atmosphere once had a lot more carbon, but the sun was cooler earlier on too. The sun's actually heating over time. It's any way you slice it or dice it, we're going to have global warming down the road somewhere. But now we're actually in the middle of the Quaternary Ice Age. We're in an interglacial of the Ice Age. You get about 100,000 years of ice, about 12,000 years of ice-free. 8 to 20 years of no ice, and 100,000 ice, no ice, ice, no ice. That's how it's been for the last about 3 million years. And that really started when the Isthmus of Panama blocked the land, became a land bridge between North and South America and stopped the flow of oceanic water all the way around the equator there. That's what at least some people think. But we've been in this ice age. We still have ice in Antarctica. The world was warmer, lots warmer, 50 million years ago. So some people say, well, the world's going to get so warm from carbon, we're going to release all this methane. It's going to be a runaround greenhouse, and no one will be able to survive. Everybody will die out. The world's been warmer. The funny thing, I really take exception to. I just saw an article that claimed that the sharks were going to die out because baby sharks can't survive the warmer waters in the ocean. Sharks were here before that much warmer period, 50 million years ago, and sharks are still here. Sharks made it through that. So, you see so much garbage out. People just grabbing and throwing stuff at us. And that's what it really looks like. They're just coming up and just tossing it at us. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. It's, wow, look at the white whole world's falling apart. Look at this. And just throw it at us. And people go, oh, they're getting hit by all this stuff, and they're absorbing it. But a lot of it is boulder dash, as Colonel Potter would say. From what series was that in? Boulder dash. Horse feathers. So, who am I talking about when I say Colonel Potter, guys? Some of you will know. Drives me crazy that people take into account history. There was a late medieval age. In the late medieval age, that's when the Vikings were coming to North America. They were up in Nova Scotia, going down maybe as far south as Cape Cod. And they called North America Vinland. As I said, there was all these grapevines everywhere. There's no grapevines up there in that area now. It's too cold. But to prove their case, though, the grapes and the seeds and such has been found in their campfires and their camps and stool they found these people. They were actually eating the food. They said they were eating. They weren't making that stuff up. Some people tried to say, oh, that wasn't real. They made it up. No, it was real. It actually was warmer then. And Greenland was greener then than it is today. So they were growing crops. They had cattle and animals in Greenland. That got too cold. And they died out in Greenland. I mean, they didn't, they had to abandon Greenland and went back to Iceland. But the late medieval warm period was warmer than it is now. Now, an article I just saw posted yesterday or today claimed that we are right now the warmest we have been in 250,000 years. Interesting. Really? Really? I don't think my friend Roy Spencer would back that up. See, there's a whole lot of fudgery going on with a lot of stuff. We're supposed to be ice free in the Arctic, and yet we get the ice pack growing. So it ain't what they make it out to be. They're using this as a political excuse to bring in the Great Reset. They had something up their sleeves for a long time. Now we know what to call it. It's the Great Reset. So Iceland got green and Greenland got cold. Yeah. So, and my mind goes too fast for my fingers. Which makes it hard to type. Me too. Typing's kind of rough for you sometimes. The Northwest Passage was beautiful. So I'm running my heater, says New. Now, for us right here, the last few winters hadn't been that bad, but I know some guys up north had some rough winters the past few. Tiffany, Greg, does bio-nano programmable matter scare you? That's my biggest concern. Well, I showed you some of you guys some videos from ISDC. So if I find to pick around on that video list, you can find K. Eric Drexler in some of those videos. I know K. Eric Drexler. K. Eric Drexler is the guy who wrote the book Engines of Creation. That for most people, they see that as the launch of the nanotechnology. Was his book Engines of Creation. Now, he didn't really come up with the concept of nanotechnology, but he sure put the accelerator on it. Most people never heard about it until he wrote those books. And so to a lot of people, he's the father of nanotechnology. He's not exactly, but he is a father of the whole field. He did promote it, push it. But yeah, I know that guy. And I got on to him, in one of the comments. I said, Eric, you've unleashed upon us, the whole world could be turned into Grey Groovus. So he said, yeah, I know. He was kind of, yeah, I know. The Grey Goo concept is the nanoites get out of control. They go into uncontrolled self-replication, just eating up all the resources around them, and they just turn the whole world into nanobots. Self-replicating tiny little nano machines. If they can just eat everything up and replicate like a virus or bug, theoretically, with nothing to control them, because there's no natural creature that's going to eat these things, they could consume the planet, or at least the surface of it, and us, and everything on it, and wipe us out. So it's hopeful we won't come to that, and we would come up with defense mechanisms similar to an immune system to fight that kind of stuff if it should get out of control. But that isn't a risk. That is a risk. But near-term risk are things like the stuff we're engineering right now. How could it affect us? The stuff that they want to inject us. I mean, we're talking about things that change RNA. RNA is part of you. It's like DNA. It's not the same. RNA and DNA are both genetic code. RNA is a different genetic code, but your mitochondria use RNA as their genetic code. Mitochondria are the energy organelles in your body. It's mitochondria that you get exclusively from your mom. You get a Y chromosome of DNA exclusively from your dad. So males pass down Y chromosomes, and females pass down the mitochondria. It's the mitochondria that are the energy organelles that provide, they are the little furnaces in your cells that keep you going. Now, if you might recall Star Wars, they called them, I don't know the name for it, but it's really close to mitochondria. That's what they were really talking about. You could tell it was supposed to give you the force comes from that. So kind of interesting. So some people think that the whole thing about the problem with the Nephilim is that the fallen angels came in and contaminated human DNA. Having contaminated human DNA, the modified humans weren't suitable to interface with God. That they had been contaminated, their seed had been ruined. And to some people, that was the explanation for why we had Noah's flood. Runaway nanotech was one of the plot themes of Neil Stephenson's fiction novel Diamond Age. Entertaining sci-fi, but I'm not worried about it. There was Michael Crichton, who wrote Jurassic Park, also wrote a book called The Swarm. He didn't have them taking everything over, but it was a really kind of a horrifying sci-fi type novel. I did read it, and I had a dream similar to that kind of description of stuff. So, Roger Stone. Do we have Roger Stone in the room? The Roger Stone? That would be interesting. Somebody wrote at Roger Stone. Do we see a Roger Stone in here? Roger Stone, if you're in the room, please stand up. Say hi. I don't see a Roger Stone going through here. Somebody wrote at Roger Stone. Deep function, 100,000 minus 1, or 99999. At Roger Stone. Okay. Michelle says you need some marshmallow root and mullein. I had a dream. Yeah, I was going to tell you about the dream. I got distracted. Evolution is in danger. Yeah, change the DNA. Yeah, that could be a real issue. So now we got GMO crops, and GMO people. We'll have GMO churches with no steeple. I don't know. Guys, do you want to be a GMO person? The DNA, Russians found this. The Russians said, there's Russian researchers that actually claim that DNA emits light. And the light, it comes out of it kind of like a little laser. And there's something called bioluminescence. You can look it up. And so I looked up the DNA and I found out the distance within the spiral is 2 angstroms. And that's at the frequency of ultraviolet light. And it so happens that ultraviolet light will break DNA because it's resonant. That's why ultraviolet light is so bad for you. Give you cancer because it'll break up the DNA. It's actually resonant with the DNA molecule. You knew, I agree with you, bud. So, but what that says is, you know, have you ever noticed? Here's what I've noticed. There's some oddball things that fit together. A mother will know if her child, or a father, if their child gets injured, they feel it. Child might be on the other side of the earth. They fall and break a leg. Mom or dad goes, something's not right. I've seen that many times. They feel it. The closer somebody is to you in DNA, the more you feel that. That's one data point. Here's another data point. Why is it that when they do organ transplants that people take on personality traits like memory? There's no brain cells. Might be some neurons, but there's no brain cells. How is it that you get memory from and personality traits of the person who donated an organ to you? If it's a kidney or something like that, you get some. If it's a heart, you almost get their personality that's not plugged in. You get a whole lot. I don't know what happened to Cheney. He never picked up anything. He was always, he had one heart after another. He never changed. Cheney. But for a lot of people, they do. They pick up personality traits of the person. If that person was a smoker, or a drinker, or they like this or like that, then the person that takes that organ, bam, they're suddenly there. They're feeling those yearnings that other person had. And that's happened so much that it caused me to really think that the DNA has a frequency component that might be, this is speculation, this isn't science, not in the materialistic sense that it is. But I have from long back, and I've talked with Rex about this a long time ago, and Rex talks about it now. I think DNA may actually be the key to the Chicago record. That it's a frequency into another domain. Maybe our way of communicating with God. So if you monkey with it, you might be messing up your code, your way of communicating with the universe. Oh, Rhonda, thank you. Thank you for your knowledge and wisdom. I was wondering if you'd ever heard of the School of Environmental Studies in Minnesota. No, I haven't. We did have a strong chapter of the National Space Society in Minnesota, and they did go to a lot of conferences and video, but the videos I got it from another group that I'll be showing you tonight. There's Scott Shefty, I think was one of the names from that group. No, I don't know that school. Minnesota is one of the few states I've not been to. I've not been to Minnesota. And the West, I haven't been to Hawaii, I haven't been to Minnesota. I haven't been to the New England states. I've been in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, but the New England states I've not been to, and I've not been to Minnesota. I've been to every other state in Hawaii. Canada, I've been to Yukon Territory, Alberta, British Columbia, and Ontario many times. But I've not been to Saskatchewan, Manitoba, or any of the eastern stuff. I had a job offer almost. I almost got hired to go to Quebec, but I actually never went there. So I've not been to anything east of Quebec in Canada. I've been to the British and American Virgin Islands. I've been to Puerto Rico. Not been to Guam. So why am I saying that? Why did I go down that road? Somebody said something prompted me. Asked about Canada, or what was it? Oh yeah, we got to talk about Minnesota. I think it's Rhonda. No, I haven't heard of that. Yeah, Tiffany's in Ontario. I've been to Ontario many times. A copy of the Ashkata is in our DNA. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's our key to it. So I think your genetics tie you to some records. I think you've got a soul that's independent of your DNA. But you know, the Egyptians thought you had two souls, Ba and Ka. One of them was like your energy you'd leave an environment when you left. And so a lot of what they were trying to do was combine Ba and Ka together to keep the individual as one soul. That's what the Egyptians thought. That's why they had all that stuff in the pyramids, theoretically. I videotaped it. I knew my way around a few buildings. Knew where a dumbwaiter was on a massive complex. Oh, where you at, Judy? All right, I gotta scroll back up and see what Judy was saying. Judy says, I've had memories of my ancestors. I knew my way around Sheffield, England area. Oh, wow. That is interesting, Judy. So you've really been able to tap into it. See, that's possible. An Oregon tribe. Chewy, you volunteered to run it? You got property? So I don't have anybody in Oregon, Washington, D.C., not Washington, D.C., Washington State, or California. I thought I had somebody in California that said they were looking at some land and thinking about buying it, but they decided to leave the state. Can't blame them. I have a guy in Oregon who's wanting to be in a tribe, but he's wanting to go to Arizona. Blue-eyed blondes that speak German. Nein, ich spreche Kleindeutsch. Ich spreche Kleindeutsch. Somebody told me I spoke German like with a Scottish accent. Never said I was German. I don't speak German either. I just tease in German. That's all. Here's one we're actually born from our grandmother. You've got your grandmother's mitochondria, and her mother's mitochondria, and her mother's mitochondria. If you take a line of straight up through your mamas all the way back in history, you know where your mitochondria come from. Your daddy straight back, there's your Y chromosomes. Little Hillsboro and the Hive. Oh, Whitney beat me. Oh, what's the matter, retard commentator? So I have 40 acres with a year-around creek. Oh, that's nice. That's good. I will email you. It's out of the box school. Okay. So it's probably, you get certain things directly through the DNA itself. The DNA is code. But if the DNA is a key to a higher dimension, another place, then you might have other connectivity, and that may be what we've called the Ashkata record. And that's speculation. I'm gonna tell you what, I have seen things in my life that can't be answered by the material sciences. That, you know, supposedly what I got taught in pursuit of this degree, everything in the world should be explainable. I hope I haven't lost that little sticker. I got to glue that thing back on. I believe I'm already losing it when it fell out. So everything should be explainable, but totally by material sciences and, you know, conventional engineering, by our physical experiences and things we can measure with an instrument. The things that are spiritual don't fit in that category. You have to have other means to discern them by, and that makes them quite the mystery. But I think you could develop kind of a science about it when you start connecting dots. And that's what I'm trying to do, connecting the dots between the organ transplants. I think there's certain ways that we can gain pictures and ways in it. Of course, we've got our books, our good books. I'm gonna put the Bible at. I have it with me here a second, y'all. We got this. Look at the world around us. We can look at and get some clues. We have our intuition, but we have other means, and there's some that can be definitive in the quantitative, and that this whole business of organ transplants affecting people, that is most interesting. The DNA emitting the light, the frequencies of it. What does that? Of course, just light, just in material world, just dissipates out. But what other kind of connectivity might it have? Why is it that in Kirlian photography, if you take a maple leaf and cut it in half, and then put it down on a highly charged voltage plate and take a photograph of it, you see an image of the entire leaf? There's something more than meets the eye in this universe, and I've had the opportunity of encountering some of that. And it tells me that there is a spiritual, you know, the lesson I take out of that is the following. We are spiritual beings living in a physical existence. The biggest mystery in the universe isn't why we're here, isn't that there is a universe. The biggest mystery is, why are we as spiritual beings living in a physical body in a physical universe? That's the big mystery. And I've taken a crack at that in my solo cup talks. So it's getting kind of late tonight. It's already midnight. That's merit a whole nother conversation. But it's interesting. So you've asked me about the DNA. We got into this talking about DNA and talking about concerns with things that alter it. Yeah, maybe it has nothing to do with it. It may have nothing to do with it at all. But one's got to wonder. One's got to think before you go dinking around with things. So, you know, and this particular thing might not have much to do with it. People maybe just fine afterwards. What about the next one? And the next one? All at once, we've got a society where they're just all gung-ho to force everyone to take something that's going to change who they are. And some little bit, maybe just a little bit. If they can force that through all at once, in short order, what's the next shoe to drop? Once they got you used to it, once they got you used to it, what's the next shoe to drop? What's the next shoe to drop? What's the next shoe to drop? Where's this going? Who's going to be at the end of this? Are we the last generation of humans? I don't know. So there's a spiritual element of this. I'm not claiming I got the answers. I'm asking some questions, though. I'm going to tell you what to do, how to make your decisions, what to do, what to take. But I might prompt you to think about things, maybe ask a question. I hope that's not so bad. Some people would, you know, this could get me deplatformed. This discussion is probably really out there on the thin ice. But I've never said in this discussion, do this or do that. Just asking questions. Free thought is going to be a dangerous commodity, it seems. we're already been, Congress is debating, taking steps that would choose for us who we can and can't vote for. Social platforms are somewhat less than totally ecstatic about the freedoms that we know that have been around so long. We're seeing such sweeping changes just the last year. Then we see things that tell us there won't be so many people in this country in just a few years. We see this big push for the Great Reset. I tell you, the Great Reset is a set in a trap. Set in a trap. That's what I'm seeing it as. What do y'all think? What do you think about this Great Reset? You'll have nothing, you'll own nothing, and you'll be happy. You'll have no privacy. Yeah, see, that is the control freak's dream. Goebbels would have loved it, right? Yikes, that's what you guys are saying. I'm missing some good stuff here. Preventing us from realizing our power. There you go, Tiffany. We have the power. So, Rex did a video live session today. He had a magic wand also. He and Gail and Paul were all on there. Gail from Rainbow Food Rocks, Gail Angeles. Good buddy Paul. Check that out. Gorgeous, awesome made that. Isn't that pretty? So, trust your instinct. That's why we have it. There we go, Rita. So, I'm for freedom. I'm not for somebody telling me what I got to do, what I got to take. And maybe they can convince me to take it, but to force me to take it, I don't think they got any business doing that. The free market went communist this week. Yeah, so they want to tell us how to trade. See, we're on the road to the Great Reset, guys. This is all part of it. They're trying to change how we trade, how we think, what we say. If you'd have told people a year ago, no, I actually did a video on the Great Reset a few months ago. And I was attacked by people. Oh, no, they won't do this. And I said, they're going to come from your farm. These other guys were in the farm, and they were on the side that was promoting this kind of outcome. You're in trouble. They're going to take your farm. Oh, no, they won't do that. That's what they said they're going to do. They actually tell you the private property will be abolished. The UN's had it in their charter for a long time. Klaus Schwab is against it. All this stuff. And who is the Great Reset? Oh, well, they're nobody. Just the most powerful people in the world leaders going to it, the most powerful companies there. And it's all in plain sight. Let's go to the website. So it is. It's all there. Of course, they make it all sound so nice and sweet. Fly bait is always sweet, by the way. It's got to be sweet for that fly to go in there and take it. The bait in the trap has got to be, and the trap's got to be concealed so you'll walk into it. They don't want wily animals to detect that they're walking into a trap. I smell a trap. I smell the biggest trap of all time. The trap of all humanity. I think we're on the verge of discovering. And this may not be it. A couple other things. We've seen a lot of big deceptions here in the last year. Lots of big deceptions. But there's something coming. There is a deception coming. A deception so great that even the elect would almost fall for it. The very elect. And many may. What is it? The Great Deception. When we get the Great Reset, it's going to be the Great Deception. I know everybody's got an idea about it, but really, we don't know yet. It didn't really tell us. We were warned of a great deception coming. I think that great deception is probably going to be built up on many others. That's my thought. What is it? The Bible says It's coming. Vicky, what can you determine now that Vicky's a good steward of the Bible? They call it the tree of life. You know, the waters of life and the tree of life are in the book of Genesis. You know, the world tree that Odin hung himself on was a tree of life. I kind of think that might be like the Ashkata record connectivity. It connected 9 worlds to its roots and branches. I think that was really, I think the tree, I think the, you know, I think there's something to lots of religions. They tie together. If you really look at it, you'll find there's some connectivity. And there's themes. And it's like, well, why is this that? That's why it's instructive to study them. It don't mean you got to believe them. But you might see that there's some fabric, some mesh. I think humans get involved in all these things and twist and turn it because it's all, you know, human, everybody's got their rose-colored glasses on. And even the people that write our books, as much as they may be inspired, they're still writing things a little bit through the way they see the world. And the way they see the world is determined by their worldview. It's colored and tinted by their rose-colored glasses. So I think we see that too in our books and literature, the differences between the cultures and so forth. So is this something we can see through when we read these things? That's just Greg Allison running his lips. What do you think? Not coming in here or ago, we're experiencing something remarkable. So something wonderful is about to happen. Not your puppet. He says, yay, Biden losing jobs and opening the border. Yeah, just throwing everything down. Armor of God. That's what everybody needs. Everybody needs their armor of God more now than ever. The salvation of man, salvation means to rub with oil. Anoint, the anointed one. Yeah, anoint oil right here, right? I still catch worms after it rains. Not crawlers are fast. Satan tries to mimic God. Well, that's true. That's true. That is true. So, you know, it's kind of interesting to really ferret out the meanings of the books of Genesis and all the way through the books of Revelation. There's a lot of mysteries in there, and we tend to read them as we understood them from the people that converted into English back in the days of King James. So our language might be a little limited in that respect, and our perspectives when a lot of things are written were determined and set by the people at the times they were writing them. But, you know, this has a long history that went to it. There's a lot of connections and similarities between what we find in cuneiform and the Sumerian tablets and what's in the book of Genesis. So what does all that mean? A lot of good questions. I still believe there's a greater creator because we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, which is greatest enigma of all. The fact that DNA showed up in that living cells were on the rocks on Earth when the planet first formed. As soon as the rocks cooled off, DNA is incredibly complex. Incredibly complex. Cellular life is incredibly complex. The discovery of DNA said that would be equivalent to a tornado. You know, some people say, well, it's just chemistry. It all came together from wind and waves and lightning, and it just all cooked up and organized and started working. DNA is incredibly complex. What's going on inside a cell is like the city of Manhattan. So what's his name? Crick, one of the discoverers of DNA, he believed in intelligent design, which is greater creator. Scientific way of saying greater creator. He said that would be like having a tornado go through a junkyard and assembling a fully functional 747. What about that? Jason says, I love watching Irvin Finkel talk about seriology. Great stuff. Well, I bet that would be interesting. That would be interesting. What else? Joe Blundell says the process actually kicks in your pons region, long-term memory. It lets you experience near-death experience in the whole. Wow, Joe, check all that out. Let me go back and see what Vicky's got to say here. It is written that if it were possible, it's not the Great Deception. Oh, if it were possible, you're right, Vicky. But it makes you wonder, what is the Great Deception? It's coming. It's coming. Maybe here. So, guys, I'm not claiming to be any kind of great religious person or paradigm of faith or any of that stuff. I'm just a person thinking, looking for answers, trying to figure it all out, trying to put this jigsaw puzzle together. We are in a precarious time, and I've always been really tuned to the times we're in. When I was a little kid, I found great interest in the Book of Revelations, and Daniel, and Ezekiel were interesting, but Book of Revelations with these strange beasts, and I hear following this book and reading what it says about these strange beasts, and I'm seeing tanks and helicopters and jet aircraft in my mind. Well, I know what that stuff is. If you take a person 2,000 years ago, when the only thing that moved was something being drawn by a horse or something was alive, a tank running around, they're going to describe it as, what else are they going to call it? They don't have words. They didn't have words in their language for car, tank, automobile, jet aircraft, jet plane, airplane. It was beast. It moved. It moved and it made racket. It was some horrible looking beast. I mean, they would have, you take a person from 2,000 years ago who was a sheep herder, and you stick them right here today with helicopters and cars and rockets and airplanes flying overhead, and put them in the middle of a city. They would probably just curl up in the fetal ball and cry. It would be such a sensory overload. How would they deal with it? This world is so different. Either that or they go, wow. I think I'd be going, wow, but it would be a huge overload to someone. What really cool, Captain America, he would have been frozen in time, in suspended animation in the bottom of the ocean, crashed the plane into World War II, and they got him in the hospital, and he suddenly recognizes that, oh, wait a minute, I already heard this ball game. What's going on? Everything around me is fake. He runs out of the hospital, and he's like in the 2000s. We don't know what. That was kind of funny. So, the flying beast of metal skin that can deflect arrows, belching fire and roaring as it passes overhead, was just a dragon or a jet aircraft. Or a UFO. Now, the Navy is supposedly backing a guy doing research in UFO technology, and he's I just found some articles on it, and he's basically, we got all this new technology on UFO technology now, talking about time warp weapons, and you know what? It's this spinning disc. Somebody talked this on Rex's show. I worked out the mathematics for that stuff back when I was in college. Just because I was trying to disprove it. But that won't work. The math's, yeah. When I discovered the RPMs, it would actually centrifugally accelerate an electron, break apart Coulomb charge, and send it out to the edge of a spinning disk. It was like, yeah, this might work. Wow. So that was for copper. This guy, he's doing it with aluminum. So good night, all. Great conversation. Well, thank you, Ronnie. Hope we didn't get too crazy for you. We're talking about UFO technology, God, revelations, great deceptions, Anunnaki. You name it, we've covered it now. Found chariots on the bottom of the Red Sea. Yeah, they did. Yeah, how do people explain that? And there's also Stella showing the flood that was found. This guy used to do some really good specials on TV. And he had pretty much pegged down the era of Moses. It was kind of interesting. About 1500 BC, and really close to the eruption of the big volcano that Santa, what's that name of that island in the Mediterranean that blew up? There's people got some nice homes on the rim of that crater rim now. Beautiful homes. It blew up 1500 BC. All right, Jason, you already know the answer to this. I'm getting brain locked. Jason usually rescue, or Vicky will rescue me when I get brain locked most of the time. The wall of Texas underwater. Oh. So is Texas going to text it? What do you think, guys? Well, Texas, Texas. Will you go with Texas if they text it? And Amy RG says, hello, young man. If you watch this video early on, you'll see me as a young man. If you go back and replay it. Red Dragon gone? I would submit Red Dragon. What country identifies with a dragon? And did we not always call them Red China and once upon a time? Red for commie? Yeah, I think the Red Dragon. I think it might just be possible, maybe, to correlate the Red Dragon of Revelations with the Red Dragon of Nations. What would that be? There's your riddle. Who am I talking about? Heck, yeah, to Texas. Yep. Probably, yes. Canary Islands. Texas got the wrong grid. Yeah, but it's not hardened. Heard the moon is the wolf moon. That's right. You feel like going outside and howling tonight? So, well, and if Texas goes, they might get a lot of company. Go, Greg, go. Says, oh, hey, Rex is in the house. Hey, hello, Rex. Hey, Rex, so I had to show some video tonight about my Halo project. I found there's a guy that's been uploading a lot of videos from our old conferences. So I've had some fun with that. And I caught some of your live session there, Rex, with Paul Cottrell and Gail Angeles. So just before my show here. Joe Burnell, Kurt, and Rex, we've been talking about all your topics tonight. We've been talking about all kind of fun stuff on here. Dragon equal China, bear equal Russia, eagle equal US. That's right. Robot clowns from Reximus, says Jessa. Hey, Jessa was in your chat session too. I saw you there, Jessa. Elite Project. What did you think? I didn't catch the whole thing, Rex. I came in late, but I had saw some earlier stuff from Gail. She said that, this was like the anniversary when you all got together. And somehow, that was cool because it's brought her into our Freedom Restoration Foundation. Gail's been quite active in that with us. She's got her Arizona chapter. We're trying to defend and restore our rights in this challenging time that we're in. So I appreciate you coming here, Rex. We ought to talk. So, Rex, I even held up my placard where I was showing a spinning disc on your show. And I actually did this artwork for your show. And I sent you today articles. I sent articles to Rex today about this Navy project, which really is, that's what it is. I said how I actually worked math out for that back when I was in college at UAH, way back when. So Rex, I've been showing a lot of, let's catch up soon. Let's do that, Rex. Let's do that. Yeah, we got a lot of ground to cover, don't we? A lot of ground to cover. I need your address, Rex. I had lost it. So, so what's what? Sue says, careful, Granny, with words these days, they tag them. Yeah, be careful what you're saying here, guys. Be really careful, because we're not on a platform that really enjoys totally free ranging speech. It's somewhat challenging. Lots and lots of vids on Santorini. Yeah, that's pretty close to what I was trying to say. Santorini is the name of the big volcano there. It's close to that some. Oh, I have a package for you too. All right. Appreciate it there, Rex. Get your calendar out. My calendar? Dr. G-Man's place. Hey, Dr. G-Man's, Dr. G-Man has got this in his icon. Which is that? Did he? That's cool, right? So Rex, what's happening tonight, Rex? Blue Alien 47. Rex, we've been talking about all kind of topics tonight. We've really gone out. We've gone far afield from the normal green Greg stuff. Yeah, we've been over in Galactic Greg's most of the night. Halo. I even did video. I showed videos where I was talking about Halo. I showed a little bit of Halo presentations and my Catch Prize Rockoon launch. Space Force. That's it. Space Force. Yeah. In fact, the guy who gave me this, I met at Fort Greely, Alaska in 1981. And he lives just down the road from me now. We've been good friends for 40 years. 40 years. So I met him in 1981. Get your Space Force flag flying. There you go. I got a bunch of flags. I thought about putting flags here in my bookcase. Maybe my Alaska flag and my Russia flag and different things. Oh yeah, let me show you some other stuff. Well, since we're showing emblems. Don't lose them. I was an early member of the L5 Society, which formed this express purpose of colonizing space. I know Jason knows what the L5 Society is. I got the tie tack here to go. Whoop, I'm about to lose it. There's my old L5 tie tack. But probably the hardest to get and earn a lapel pin, which you can't get anymore, is to be an original X Prize team member. It's so green Greg's and ham with a side of Rex. Green Greg's and ham with a side of Rex. There we go. Space Force is a topic I'd like to learn more about. Okay. There's another type of X Prize pin, but that's not for being on the team. Here's one of my NASA accommodation medals. It's just got the NASA swoosh, if I can get in focus. Some Atlas type person holding up a NASA swoosh, and it won't focus on it worth the hoot. Rex, I showed video here tonight. You should check back on the video. Back when Space Station was Space Station Freedom, a long time ago. I did robotic systems integration. Space Station Freedom for our nation. So Rex, we had a wide-ranging talk tonight. We had a lot of fun here. We've been online here for about 2.5 hours already, so we'll probably need to wrap it up here in a little bit. Rex, what would you like to tell us? Tell us something, Rex. What's shaking? Give us some news here. Nanotechnology time. Yeah, got that, Rex. Dumas wholeheartedly agrees. What? No, USS Enterprise. It does look kind of like the USS Enterprise logo, right? It's not. Sweet pen, says Carla. Vicky says his nation was founded under him, but chose to cast off his yoke. Yeah, okay. He left us unmitigated consequences of our choices. Well, we got some consequences. We are here for a reason. I agree with you, Rex. I even asked again the question not why are we as spiritual beings living in the physical universe? We've discussed that in the past. I'm on video with that discussion, so we might have to go there again. Of course, I got my universe in a solo cup, which right now has tea. A little tea, got a little coffee. I think we got a drinking problem tonight. And my coffee's cold. So is the tea. T-Rex, my childhood #1, still very fond of them. Rex Bear. There you go. I got this picture in here of my daughter and her 2 kids. Don't that look kind of a Norman Rockwell-ish? Don't that look very Norman Rockwell? Can you see Norman Rockwell painting something like that? Not going anywhere. A reason and a season. Okay. All right, red solo cup. Yeah, we all love Rex. Rex brought a lot of people here in our group. Hey, you know, we got more people in here now than we did earlier. It's after midnight. It's almost 12:30, and we got 119 people. 121. Wow, what happened? Well, suddenly it's like the gate open. We got a bunch of people coming in. Well, hello to the room, all you new people. We got more people coming in. That's awesome. So yeah, or suddenly our attendance is jumping up real fast. I appreciate that, guys. So for those that hadn't been here before, not your puppet. Rex goes where no one dares to go. Love it. That's right. Reminds me, gets me thinking about that Thunder Road song. I'm going where angels feared to tread. I have to sing it. Yeah, I'm not in the singing. My voice ain't really good for singing tonight. I got a little bit of a cold. I was singing Wednesday night. There was thunder, thunder at over Thunder Road. Thunder was his engine, and white lightning was his load. Already messed it up. It wasn't white lightning, it's lightning. All right, yeah. Not up for singing tonight. Been following Rex for a decade. I found you, Greg. Well, thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, Rex brought a lot of you great people on my channel. I appreciate it. Rex has been awesome for us. Him and Diamond both really helped a lot. So I got a lot of gratitude for Rex and Kevin Mason. How you doing? So who's new in here? We had a bunch of people log in. It wasn't in here earlier, so say hi if you can. Give us a hi like Kevin just did. So for those that hadn't missed this earlier part of the video, I gave people a glimpse of what I looked like back in 1993. And I showed some videos from some of the old space conferences and showed that indeed I've done a lot of space conferences. So this is almost more of a galactic Greg's video than a Green Greg's video. But I went live to the Green Greg's channel. Jeremiah didn't enjoy his prophecies and warnings either. Yeah, the prophets often didn't like him. He wept on his own time. I'm saying, Rex says, I'm okay. Hello, you're a legend. Well, yeah, I gave people some stories here tonight. I got to see a little bit more of the Rocket Man here. So I told them, guys, I'm really a space guy. So they didn't all know that fully till tonight. But I'm still a hillbilly and a worm farmer. Country boy. Country boy can survive. That's right. It's an awesome Greg's video. Well, thank you. I'm glad y'all liked it. The worms got me, said retarded commentator. Yeah, a lot of people come here for the worms, and that's good. That's good. Worms are great. Worms are awesome. That's why I raise worms. There's a reason. There's a reason and a season of what I do. You know, guys, it's like this. We live in tough, challenging times. This is when we got to have our basics. You know, a pyramid, any building's got to set on a solid foundation. At the very tippy top of the house of pyramid, you may have all kind of great idealistic ideas and notions of what you want to do. Your point of self-actualization at the peak of the pile. But down on the bottom, you better be setting bedrock. You better have a good, solid foundation, or I'll watch this way. Well, we're at one of those times that we're in a storm. And when you're in a storm, you got to make sure your foundation is good. And we've been living without a good foundation. We've gotten complacent, used to our electrical power and all the conveniences that we get every day. And people often only have 2 or 3 days worth of food in their house. That's the average now. And people don't know how to grow food. They don't know how to take care of their water, even take care of themselves without all the modern conveniences that we have. You need to know how to provide for yourself, because all these conveniences are very much at risk right now. That's one of the reasons I have chaired 2 power grid defense conferences. That's the reason I bring you the videos on my channel about power grid defense, because we got work we need to do there, and they isn't going to do it for you. Everybody says, well, they will do this or they will do that. There is no they. You are the they. They is us. We got to take care of it. As Rex has told us so many times, be the change you want to see. And that's what we got to do to ensure that we survive and maintain our liberty. Hey, Rex, if you're still here, you know, Ransom posted those videos that had you and me and Diamond and had David Devine in it talking about freedom. And he's got all that music in it. It's kind of a fun video. It's about 2.5 hours. It's mostly music and fireworks with us kind of sprinkled in. I did take and cut out sections of myself, and I posted that in a video, and I called it Freedom Rocks. Because he had such good special effects in there, and the music, and when I put on the rose-colored glasses, everything in the video turns rose-colored, and he has a queen's head popping out of my head when I'm talking about, you know, we don't need a queen. It was funny stuff. He made it cool. Yeah, Halo. It's real funny there, Rex. It takes us a while to watch it. He's not got a lot of viewers on it, but he He really knows how to mix some video and music. It's fun. It's a fun late night watch. So, and for those that didn't know before, after seeing my videos tonight, you know where my halo comes from. High altitude liftoff, the program I started building hybrid rockets, launching from balloons. And I started that program in 1994. Bill Brown and I, you saw Bill Brown in that video. Bill Brown and I started the Halo program in 1994. And Tim Pickens is the guy that came into it also later. And Tim spun a company off. You'll see video. If you go to, there's a video of me emceeing an event on C-SPAN in 2006 in ISDC, but it's 2006. And that's on C-SPAN, and then Tim is there in that video and some other people. I'm introduced on cheap access to space. So I've been doing cheap access to space and space stuff for decades. I was one of the early new space guys before we had a word for it. Time to restore our world. We the people with a purpose, for purpose. We the people. Amen. Amen. Absolutely. So we got to go back to basis. What are our bases? It's how to survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. It's to produce our own food, to know that we need freedom and liberty, but we also need each other. We need community. We need to have each other's backs and not be just totally subservient to some government to do everything for us. This whole vision. Here's where the egg breaks. Here's where we break the Great Reset, the egg of the Great Reset. It is a Humpty Dumpty, because that Great Reset is a society that is totally reliant on high technology, Hive tech, not high tech, Hive technology to monitor, to control every aspect. You own nothing. You have no privacy. Everything comes to you by a robot or a drone, according to their stuff. You rent everything, even your underwear. You don't own underwear. You don't own socks. You don't own a hat. Everything is just comes to you as you need it, supposedly. Of course, they have to regulate some things. There has to be some, what do you call it? When you control supplies, what's the word for it? Because, you know, they're also wanting to marshal the environment, and also productivity is going to fall through the, you know what, because there's no incentives for anybody to produce, and robots can't produce everything. So this whole Great Reset's going to be a trap. That's all it is. It's not going to work. And what happens if the technology fails? You have a solar flare and all the technology gets wiped out, and suddenly your life is far more dependent on technology than it is even today. Wow. If they take your land, know how to wall forage, learn how to camp out, learn how to move around quietly. You might just go out in the woods and disappear. Might be the best thing to do. Be the Bigfoot. You don't have to believe in Bigfoot. Be Bigfoot. There we go. How about that? Be Bigfoot. Be Sasquatch. Channel your inner Squatch. Oh, that'd be a good t-shirt, right? Channel your inner Squatch. Oh, that space junk running that right now. Uh-oh. Geez, it might be hard to rent a bowl of rice. Yeah, there's some problems with this, right? Well, you can give it back to them after you processed it. You don't need the compost. Excuse me. Let's see. Anyone a ham? Let's start a net 40 meters day or 80s at night. Anyway, all right, we're having some fun, right? Was it Sasquatch a slave to aliens? I don't know. Inner Squatch. People like it. Channel your inner Squatch. I love it. We got some new saying here on the channel, don't we? It was born tonight. And Green Greg's and ham. Ham I am. Yeah, I think I'm not talking all that Halo stuff. It makes me quite a ham, huh? Do a class on wild edibles. I've got a lot of videos on wild edibles, Michelle, wild medicinals, and I'm going to spread it out. Give them worm tea. Hey, that's good stuff, guys. And I've done a couple of videos on worm tea. As you might know, I sell worm tea. Farmers market. People come here buy it from me. Run a humidifier. Yeah, I might need to do something. Actually, it's very humid here. I have to run a humidifier in Arizona. I wish you were my little friend or close to Gothenburg, Sweden. Are you in Sweden? Ah, okay. Mary Ekman, are you in Sweden? What have like? Let's see, what's that? What have like? Yeah, okay, cool. So we have Sweden in the room. Nice. I have Nordic ancestry there. Halo burger and pizza. Hey, Halo. I have to put Halo on our stuff too, right? And we had a logo for Halo. You probably saw it in some of those presentations in the video. We had a Halo logo. Jason says, let me see, I might be able to whip up a Sasquatch shirt. Hang on a sec. You know, I'm going to do t-shirts one day. We got to do a green Gregson and helm and swivel head shirt and proudly promoting global worming. I got to have some global worming shirts. I'm worming my way to the top and talk about my wormhole generators, right? I come up with a whole bunch of t-shirts. Swivel heads. Got to have a swivel head t-shirt. Yeah, we come up with some good t-shirts. That worms making a fish, worms and a leaf tail. That is my Green Greg's logo, by the way. Y'all like that? You see occasionally in some of my videos. I need to put a watermark on my channel, and when I redo my website, that needs to be. I need to work that more in. And let's see, admin a Facebook group Nibiru. Nibiru comes not this way anytime soon, at least. Maybe a planet out there, working way out there, but it's not about to swing in around the sun in a second. It can't sneak up on us like that. But we do have an interstellar object move through our solar system. A Mau. How you say that? Well, the guys that made it call it that? No. Was it made? Was it natural? Did God make it? Aliens make it? Was it a piece of shrapnel from something else, from a planet, from an alien spacecraft, or was it a functional spacecraft just kind of working through? Maybe a little sleep. What was it? Rendezvous with Rama? Jason knows what rendezvous with Rama is, I bet. Let's see. Sasquatch shakes. Squatch shakes. Squatch shakes. I'll just start a Squatch burger house, right? Squatch burgers. Squatch burgers. Squatch shakes. Squatch. Yeah, that's great, right? We got Squatch soap, right? That's the Tiffany words on a piece of paper, if done unlawfully, mean absolutely nothing to man, woman, or people. Well, that says a lot, Tiffany. That says a lot. There's a lot of words on paper being passed right now, and some people really challenge the lawfulness of it. There's some debate out there about those things. Some people say there shouldn't be any debate. And some people say we shouldn't have freedom of thought. I'm laughing so much, I'm about to cry here tonight. Jay says, okay, got an image that I can use commercially. I'll get it thrown together here in a day or two. All right, and if you take my idea, just remember, I got to be able to use it too. Give Sasquatch back his spaceship, you rascal. Squatch ship. There we go. So what's it say? Guns and Gadgets channel on YouTube. Well, what about him? I watch that channel. What about him? Some help him? RITA. YouTube Reddit. What do you mean Reddit? They got rid of him? Is he gone? Are you married, if I may ask a personal question? No, I'm not. No, I'm not married. You want to come over from Sweden? No, I'm not married, ladies. I am not married. You must check your warrior calls. Oh, check out a warriorcalls.com. Okay. Group cry. Hey, Lou. Channel your inner squatch. Yeah. What did you want for texture? Yeah, channel your inner squatch. That's it. Channel your inner squatch. I think that's wonderful, right? Wow, carrots. Smelly squatch soap. Well, there is a squatch soap, or I think that's what they call it. You know, I've seen the advertisement. I believe it's called squatch soap, something like that. So we can't use their product or their title. There we go. Yeah, we're having some fun here. We have a lot of fun. So guys, getting late here. It's heading toward 1 o'clock in the morning my time. We've been on almost 3 hours. This is one of our longest calls. We cut up a lot, and we got it. Well, our attendance is still going up. We got 131. Wow. Wow, we got 131 in the room. All right, so who's new? Smelly Squatch Soap. This is new. Joe Well, to be precise, with a proper soil, you can have a lot of great nutritious plants. But if you don't have the soil health or the right minerals, you don't have nutritious anything. That's right. So you make sure you get the right minerals, and then you need the right kind of bacteria to break it down and make it really available to plant roots. That's what worm tea does, is help put the right kind of bacteria in there. Bacteria, and you need to get mycelium. May the squatch be with you. I love it, Jessa. May the squatch be with you. I think I've had a squatch with me once upon a time. That was scary as hell. Pardon my Nordic speak there. Yeah, you know, hell was a Nordic god, right? Eat the weeds has a good side. Yeah, you know, I could also make shirts out of that, eating the weeds and such, right? Weeds and trees. Jesus, good job, Greg. Thanks to all the mods. Yeah, we've had some really good mods here tonight. Y'all have done a good job, kept things smooth. Yeah, she's good, Michelle. I don't know what we're talking about there, Sue. I say, well, it will give up your or no less than 10 years. Yeah, they want to take stuff. 50,000 in fines. Whoa, may the squatch be with you. Sounds even better. Yeah, thanks, Green Greg. Well, I played Sasquatch. I played Bigfoot when I was a kid to scare people, because I discovered it. One of the kids I grew up with thought he saw a Sasquatch, thought he saw a Bigfoot. We were out near the place. He swore he saw one. He just swore he saw a Bigfoot one night, and I thought he was crazy. You know, Bigfoot's around here in North Alabama. Of course, later I found there's all kind of sightings. It's one of the top sighting areas in the country. At the time, I just thought they were all up in Oregon, Washington State, British Columbia, up there in the mountains, the Rockies and the Sierra Nevadas and such, Cascades. You know, Bigfoot around here. So that's what I thought. So when too many people, how would a Bigfoot hide around here? How would it be possible? And he swore, oh, I saw it. He was serious. So I just thought, well, this guy, you know, he's kind of given to delusion. It'd be easy to scare him. So I started putting all kind of pranks. I started out they were out shooting firecrackers one night, and I went in the cornfield close to him, and I was just rattling the corn stalks and making big, loud, gruntle, throaty, and nasal sounds. You know, the nose stopped up. I can't do it right now, but I was making all kind of racket, and, you know, scaring them. Oh, they quit. They heard that, quit shooting the fireworks, and they ran in the house and hid. That was my first little playing Bigfoot. And then I discovered I can make these things called dumb bulls. Because most people didn't know what a dumb bull was, even in the country. But I happened to have a dad that knew what a dumb bull was. Because there were a few people that would make them. There was a few practitioners of making scary instruments who would play pranks on people and scare the hell out of them out in the country, which is a dangerous proposition where people are armed. Hey, Greg, guess went home. Oh, who went home? We got 119. Okay, our numbers are falling now. I'll finish this up and we'll be done. It's late. We need to finish up here in a minute. It was taller than my shed. Uh-oh, Granny. Our Granny saw something. Granny saw something. So I started making, taking nail keg. It's about, I don't know, I had a nail keg about yay long, about this big around. Took a deer hide, stretched over it. I got had an old deer hide hung in the chicken house wall from the time I was a little bitty kid. I took that thing, I thought it wasn't rotted, it was still good. I just had to get it wet and get it flexible, and then dry it, attach it, this head, this nail keg, and dry it down on that, bind it down. I forget how I bound it. I might have nailed it in. I don't remember. I had to use something else. It was tight. I had this like a tight drum diaphragm of a deer hide, and I cut a hole in, punched a little hole in it, and I put a cord in it. And I put the cord through, tied a knot, so I can pull it back in, pull it out the back end. And then you wax that cord. I had a pretty good sized cord, about 40 foot long. You pull that cord and go, real low frequency, loud, low frequency. Oh, it's beautiful. And that's what people call it a dumb bull, because the old timers, the only thing they could think of was a bull. Close to that, sound. They're like a mad bull. People have been known to leave their houses from hearing somebody play one of these out close to their house. People have actually left. Got all concerned with it and left. So I found about a number 10 size can when I was a kid in a trash pile near the edge of the woods. When people used to be real bad about throwing their trash out around the edge of the woods. It was about yay big around, about yay long, and this one was the thinnest metal I've ever seen on a can. Did someone make a can that big and that thin metal? Really surprised me, but I was really impressed when I found it, because I got me some waxed dental floss and put in that thing and ran it out several feet. Now when I pull on that, whoo, it was screamed like a wildcat, real high pitched, real loud. Now I had a perfect instrument set for all kind of mayhem. It's late. I'm not going to tell you the full stories of what we did. I think I've done it before. but so I have scared campers. I've been shot at, and I particularly was always picking on this guy more than anything. And a lot of times we would just be in the woods, and I would find stuff, and I'd just teach. Oh, look, there's a sign of a Bigfoot. And I'd just making stuff up. Well, I saw a footprint in the spring, floor of a spring. Footprint was about yay long, but it was only yay wide. I looked at it and I thought, somebody did that. That's somebody's foot. And I got look at it though. I thought, wow, this is marvelous. It's so perfectly formed. It ain't stretched. It ain't slid. And I was just like looking at it like, how do they do that? I thought somebody, oh, this prank. Well, how do they do that? That's just, it's perfect. What did they do? How did they do it? And I thought this guy's uncle did it. I talked to him about it. He didn't do it. They said he did. But it was like a perfect print. It was nothing deformed, nothing slid looking. It just was narrow for being so long. Of course, we're not in snowland. Maybe don't need big, wide feet in this area. But, I just looked at it. And what the heck is that? Now, odd thing, I saw a cougar when I was a kid, a mountain lion, what we call a panther in these parts. And it had a footprint. I saw it in a creek bed a week before I actually walked up on it. And its footprint was that yay long. It went from the heel of my hand to the middle finger joint here. It's really that big. Huge footprint. I was 12-year-old when I saw that thing. I knew not to run. So this other guy and I were out in the woods. Now his family's property, they had this hill. And you went in around the spring, and then you went way back down the woods, and there was a creek down here. So you had a hill up here, a creek here, and you came around this backside of the property, and it was nothing but this huge forest. I mean, just bramble, briars, and bushes. Like between the property line between that property and the next one over was just almost impenetrable, even for a kid like me who would go through stuff like that. That was some really thick, messy stuff. So it was either the creek, which that was a big creek, it was deep water, and it had some quicksand in the spots. So you didn't really just want to jump in the creek, not willy-nilly. So there was this creek on one side, we were a hill up here, and all that bramble. So we walked down through there, and we started to come back. And you know, and we're just walking on. He stops. He looks up at the hill and he just stops. I looked up and I saw what he saw. Sitting on a rock, sitting down, is taller than me and standing up. Black, no neck, pointy head. It looked at us, looked away. Look at us, look away. Whole time it was doing that. It would look at us, look around, kept looking around. I looked at it, like, what the heck is that? Still in my mind, there's no Bigfoot around here. What is that? I'm thinking maybe a gorilla got out of the Birmingham Zoo. It had hair over its chest. I mean, I went to the zoo after that in Birmingham, looked at the gorillas there just to see. They didn't look nothing like that. Nothing. You know, their chests are bare. They got a little bit more neck, and they didn't have that big pointy head. And their heads kind of sort of, they got that bit of a ridge, but nothing like that. They didn't look anything like that. And they're not that big. This thing was huge. It was black, long hair. And we walked around. We had to walk out of those woods. We had to walk all the way around this thing to get back, because the trail, this thing was up on the hill above us. Like it was garden where we could went out that way. We had bramble this way, a creek that way. We walked out, back up the trail and back around. The first thing I did when I saw it, I reached up and grabbed him so he wouldn't run. I said, "Nope, don't run." Really low, whispered, "Don't run." We never spoke another word. Don't talk. Keep your mouth shut in the woods. Made sure he wouldn't run. You run from any animal, and it's going to see you as prey. Don't ever run from a predator. You can't outrun it. You cannot outrun it. This thing was still some distance. I would say I got to look at that thing for a long time walking around. It didn't move. And some people talk about they saw it fleeting. It's here, it's gone. I got a good long look at it, but not real close. Yeah, I get one of my eyes pulling tricks. What is going on here? We both saw it. We both saw the same thing. We both described the same way, sitting there looking back around. So we both, if we were having delusions, we were both having the exact same delusion at the exact same time. But we were kids, but you know, we walked around. Here we are, two kids, two boys. You know, I was probably 14 maybe by then. I might have been 15. I think I was about 14. So we walked all the way around that thing and out of the woods and up into the field above. And once we got about halfway through that field, we took out running. I thought we heard some noise, maybe like it made some kind of sound. That was scary. That was interesting. That's one of those things that had your hair in the back of your neck. What was it? It wasn't a bear. It had a head and a face. A face kind of like a person, except it was, you know, it looked just like the pictures of Bigfoot. That's what it looked like exactly. But in my mind, I still couldn't put it together at the time. To me, there wasn't no big feet around here. I've been pulling pranks on people left and right because there wasn't no such thing. I was having a good time with the idea that other people thought those things were around. I did spend almost all my time in the woods. So I walk around and go, what is this? What is it? It's got to be a gorilla. Must have been a gorilla escaped from the zoo. No, it was not a gorilla. What was it? Occasionally, I see some barefoot tracks right around my road back here. Had a big barefoot print in front of my greenhouse in the wintertime last year. I've not seen them in a while. Right at the door of my greenhouse was one single. I got it on video. I was going to put it on one of my other videos just for a joke, and I think I accidentally deleted it. I couldn't find it. So, dang. Now, it wasn't a ginormous footprint, but barefoot prints this time in the wintertime in Alabama. Could be somebody having fun. Might be Cody Lundeen. Maybe he snuck up here and walked around barefooted. Yeah, I think it's Cody Lundeen. You know, I think it ate me. We could have been attacked. I had walked up on a mountain line and I got out of the woods like a glacier. I was only 12 then. I've known don't run from animals way back. Well, Greg, yep, no sound, no movement. What? Yeah. You don't want to excite it, man. It's that Bigfoot family. Ever met a demon, a real one? That's a whole nother story. Whole nother story. Grays. Silver has a primary use as antibiotic in a fungal like Tavari. Yeah, it does. So you guys go, oh, Greg's lost his mind. It's a native legend. Hey, I'm just telling you, we saw something. I wasn't the only one, though. I wasn't the only one. No, I wasn't. You know, we had bobcats in my area. A lot of people saw bobcats, but I never saw a bobcat. I heard them scream. But I never saw a bobcat. And we had a lot of bobcats here. I never saw one. I saw a wolf once. One time, fleeting. Came to the edge of the woods, turned around and left. There weren't many of them. Where I live was not a range normally for mountain lions or wolves. They wasn't their natural range, but animals can. There was and I live in North Alabama. There was a bear that came out of Florida, was sighted in North Georgia, and they shot it in Athens, Alabama, which is just west of me. That darn thing went all the way from Florida up to North Georgia and crossed over probably right through this area, went into Athens, and somebody shot it. This is not bear country, okay? Animals can range sometimes. They range out of their normal territory. No monkey has intelligence level of this. Yeah, they apparently they're really intelligent. You know, to hide like that would suggest for some big animal to hide so effectively, it's got to be really super smart and have really good senses, hearing, smell. But we were already in the woods. It had to come down into those woods after we were out there on that trail. All these things do not want to be seen. And once it saw it, it wasn't no point in getting up and going. It just kind of kept an eye on us. If it wanted us, it could have had us. We're just two boys. What were we going to do? What was it? Do we both have a mass illusion? Do we both imagine the same thing at the same time? Because I wasn't even believing in those things. It's like, no, I ain't here. There ain't no such thing around here. And it's like, wow, what is that? You know, I didn't know what it was at first. I knew I didn't want to run. You don't do that. But it was interesting. It was interesting. It wasn't after I went to the zoo and really looked at the gorillas good, and I really decided it wasn't one of them. I thought it might have been a Bigfoot, but I just couldn't connect the dots and say, yeah, until I had a good look at the gorillas. And of course, there was no report of a gorilla having escaped the zoo. Of course, the easiest explanation, the easy way out of this whole thing is we both simultaneously had exactly the same delusion at the same time. We both described to each other. He described to me what I saw, I described to him what I saw, and our descriptions were totally matched. We both saw it sitting on that rock. We described it the same way. And we both said, but just sit here and look at us and talk shit. Interesting, right? So I don't know, guys. What was it? What do we see? Did the devil go sit on that rock and mess with their minds? Was it a space alien? Were we having mass delusions? Was it because we ate too many grapes or something? Or blackberry? This kind of stuff with people. Swamp gas from Venus. Yeah, that's what it was. It was Venus swamp gas. 100%. We didn't say nothing. It was swamp gas from Venus. Yeah. Case closed. Swamp gas from Venus sitting on a rock in the woods in North Alabama on Sand Mountain next to Slab Creek. Yeah. How about that? I've known people here in Canada to have pet wolves. That wakes you up. You bet. Yep, we were froze. It kept me up at night, all night. Oh my gosh, Granny. Wow. Well, Don, wow, y'all asking me a whole lot of stuff tonight. Did I ever see a UFO? I've talked about that on Rex's show. Skinwalker. I knew a lady said she camped out at next to Skinwalker Ranch. And She didn't. The group she was in went kind of crazy that night. It was not a good thing. She didn't like it. Hi, Granny. I swam with a manatee. Oh, that's cool. Hello, Michelle. I'm your my yes friend. There are many more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of by human philosophy. Amen, Vicky. Amen. Scene one in the back. Wait. Tiffany says scene one in back in cab of truck at Tim Hortons. Scary looking one. A demon? What are we talking about? Demon or a Bigfoot? What did you say, Tiffany? We're in a battle that was disturbed. Oh, maybe. Sorry, myself. We got 127 people in it this late. Wow. Native Americans have legends about Bigfoot. Shaman claim they'll steal your soul if you look them in the eyes. Hey, I saw a property the other day online, Sand Mountain. Where was it, Michelle? Actually, the farm that my grandmother owned and the next door farm that I saw that on is for sale. The farm where I saw that is for sale right now. Yeah, it's for sale. Wish I had the money to buy that. I really do. Be nice to buy that. I live by Skinwalker Ranch. Oh, Granny. So you think what you saw came from Skinwalker, Granny? You live by Skinwalker, probably did. You know, Skinwalker Ranch was owned by Robert Bigelow. He still owns it now. Under Fish and Game. So Robert Bigelow had a institute, NIST or something like that, for studying strange phenomenology and UFOs. And they finally dismissed it. He shut it down. He had people going out there looking at the place. And they asked Rex, are you still with us? Rex may have interviewed him over that. I was hired to work for Bigelow. I was hired to work at Bigelow Aerospace, but they delayed my start date, so I didn't go. I almost went out there. I came really close to wind up in Vegas back right around the year 2000. It would have been just right after I did the Halo, the Heart Catch Prize launch, the one I showed you going off the back of the boat in this video earlier. Some of y'all were there. Jess, I always wanted to visit Skinwalker Ranch. You might not appreciate it after you leave. Some people have that. It really disturbs a lot of people. There's something really spooky about that place. Love Greenbergs, but NASA never a straight answer. Well, Billy, I'll tell you anything I know. I'm gonna tell you there's some things that you know aren't in my privy. There's nothing that I know that I can't talk about it unless it's proprietary contract information, but that's big nothing burgers. Star Green Griggs. It was a Sasquatch, says Green. Okay, you saw a Sasquatch, not a Skinwalker. Okay. We all need to get used to them. It's end times, reset, expect visitors. That could be. Well, we know the devil and his demons get flung down to earth, whatever that is. They built earthships out there. I have family out there. Yeah, okay, good. I still got to do my habitat thing. I'm glad you like the green Gregs, Billy, but hey, I did a whole bunch of stuff about my rockets, but my rockets that I was talking about were my own, not NASA rockets. I've done rockets, and I've been involved in rockets that others have done. So it's just my name, Michelle. Okay. So not going to Skinwalker Ranch. All right, Vicky. The Skinwalkers of Southwest tradition tells are not our friends. Yes, Vicky, that is the truth. They are demonic. Absolutely. Nephilim, says Randy Collins. Did you get any GameStop game? No, I didn't. I haven't been playing the stock market. All my money goes into my farm. And I've been putting my farm here, and I'll be putting money into one in Arizona soon. So I got a little bit more to put in here. Wish I had money to buy the one that's up for sale where I saw what I talked about tonight. I found research about an old dig site of giants in Canada. They were doing all kind of digs. Yeah, there's a lot of stories about these digs and things being hidden. Sugar rockets are a blast. Oh yeah. Be careful with them. So Judy, you going tonight? Good night, Judy. Mickle wants out. You know, let me see something here. Let me look in here. I might be able to pull this place up on Google Earth or something. Well, Google Earth isn't working, but my map should work. Guys, I'm going to do a share. I want to take y'all to this place I was talking about. Oh, hang on, guys. Let's do a share. This is pretty close to where I live now. It's not exactly where I live, but really close. Oh yeah, Green Greg's Worm Farm. There we go. What's that? So we're going to go to Allison Road. Hey, there's a song called Allison Road. You ever heard that song? Allison, R-O-A-D. There, bam. So I close this and get it out of the way. Oops, take that off. That's all right. Allison Road. Need more road. We need more road. It means it went to Needmore, Alabama, which Needmore has less. Bam. This is the place. I used to live in a house that used to be right here where I grew up, and then we built that house. Then I moved back down to here, and other houses have been built up. Property has been divided up a bit. This is the farm where I grew up. My grandmother's farm. Well, my dad grew up. It's right here. New Hope Church. This is the property of a family called the Joiners. And the hill I was talking about is right there. The spring was right here. This is Slab Creek. Slab Creek runs through here. This is that property line. It was all brambles. This rise right is either here or over here. This thing was, there was a rock outcropping. It might have been this little area. That thing was sitting right up in here somewhere on a rock outcropping. And we were down here when we saw it. We had to walk all the way around very slowly, around up and up and up and up toward where the spring was, and back out up this field and go running. Now, my friends had a cabin. If y'all heard me reading my poetry about scaring the heck out of a boy, he was in the cabin at the edge of the woods here. They had him a cabin down there, and I built a couple of cabins back out in here when I was a kid. Let's see if we can find any remnants of it. I built a cabin. Let's see here. Hang on. Let me get my bearing a little better. There. No, that's not it. Come back out a little bit. Yeah, the cabin I built's right there. What's left of it. When I was 16 years old, I built that cabin. Just casting a shadow. Oh, I can't zoom in anymore. That's the roof. It had a roof, had a fireplace back here, had windows. I used to be a porch. The porch got taken out by a tree that fell on it. It had a fireplace that went up over the top. It was 9 foot wide, 12 foot long, had a porch that come out 8 foot, had a half loft in it and a fireplace. Had a window in the back, a window in the wall here, and a window in the front porch and a door. And there it is. Whenever this picture was taken, it was still there. I built that cabin at the age of 16, I meant. 1976 is when I built that cabin, the year that my truck that I drive is made. That cabin and my truck are the same age. And the wood that was on the side of this cabin was the decking on a house that was built in 1900, and the decking was second hand when the house was built. The wood, I ran on slats around the outside. The floor had 2x6s that came out of an old cotton house with lumber laid across it. Tongue grew lumber off the front porch, but the inner walls, I covered them in lumber from the bleachers at Albertville High School. The tin on the top came off the log barn that we used to have when I was a little kid. So that building was made out of components of much older buildings. The wood on the side was 100 years old in 1976. Well, the building that was tore down that I took it from was built 100 years prior to that. That wood is really old wood. It is really old wood. It had to be some good stuff to have lasted that long. The wood that the bleachers were made out of was oak, from the walls inside. So that came from front porch, a cotton shed, bleachers at Albertville High School, and what else was it? I had some other source. Yeah, the decking on the old house that used to be on Highway 75 in Albertville. If you even know where Albertville used to be, an old house had a porch that went all the way around it. The decking is where I got the wood off the side of that building. So 4 different buildings. Oh yeah, and our old log barn. So 5 different buildings went into building that. Wood from 5 different buildings. I'll show you pictures of it one day. I'd love to put a garden in right here, a big market garden, because this is a road you wouldn't be able to see it from the road from behind these houses. And I'll show you one other thing. The ladies here, these are houses for cats. That building is for cats. Yes, cats. And so some of these buildings back here. These 2 ladies had over 100 cats each. I used to tease them and tell them they had cat houses. Slab Creek. So we had a rocky branch. Looked like kind of a frog there. So the branches, they came together here on our property. And there's a hill here we call Slate Rock Hill. This is about 90 foot high. So this little ravine drops down to about 90 foot. So it's a little gorge, a little hollow. And you got a little kind of a hollow down here. This is called Turtleneck Cove. And if you ever seen my farmers markets videos, there's a lady named Miss Blanks. This is her farm. She sells at the farmers market where I sell. And our properties, the old property I grew up on and hers go right up to each other there. So there you are. I am a country boy, and this is where I'm from. This is where I grew up, right here. All in this area. I ran all around this area. I used to, those chicken houses weren't there. Then the hog houses, darn hog houses, a waterfall. They used to like to take showers in back up in here. I used to cut across the countryside and go back there and under this waterfall and take showers. I was a kid. There it is. Sand Mountain. Albertville Airport right there, a lot bigger. Oh wow, what do you see? Super Center. There's Boaz, Albertville. That's the side of Sand Mountain. And y'all saw my video going through Gunnersville. I think I started the video, and I might have videoed, yeah, maybe I started it right here, drove through here, drove up through here. You can see there's water all around. This is an area called Honeycomb right through here. I drove through Honeycomb, I went this way. If you go up here to Grant, back here is Cathedral Caverns. You heard me talk about Cathedral Caverns, proof that we haven't been run over by a flood here. Look here, this is what you find inside of Cathedral Caverns, guys. Maybe I'll go there and do a video. The entrance to this cave is probably 700 and maybe 30, 50 foot above sea level. I had it on Google Earth, I could tell. I can't tell them here. But no ocean waves swept over this area in millions of years. You wouldn't have all that stuff in there. There's caverns all in this area like that. And I also lived up in Paint Rock Valley for a while. Paint Rock Valley. I tried to do y'all some video from there. I did some video from up on this mountain. That's where I was coming down after Christmas Day, and it died on me. That's the day that the bombing took place in Nashville, and all the cell phones crapped out. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get access to my phone and video, and now I know. That's Paint Rock River. I'll show you another place. What the heck? I have to back you out here a little bit. Trenton. All right. I'll show you where I used to live. I used to live in a house right here. And there's a gunfight right here in that house. I got that story on a video, man. Show y'all. I lived in this house, and that was the side of a gun battle where the guy fought his law and he won. Yeah, he ran the law off. There was an area, this is a kind of a famous gun battle. There's Paint Rock River there. From this house, you couldn't see any other house. It also made it a good target for thieves. I got broke in on when I was there. I'm going to drop y'all in, show you the place I used to live. Bam, hopefully we'll see it. Up that hill, he hid out in that basement right there. And so in the basement windows, the sheriff's raiding their cars up and down this hill road here, and he just shot them all to pieces. There's his old chicken house. There's his barn down there. You don't see other houses. If you go up the road, there've been other people that was come into my sessions before in the past that said somebody was there that said they lived on Skyline Mountain. Skyline Mountain is that mountain right over there. That Skyline Mountain. And this mountain behind, you can't see the mountain behind the house from this angle, but it's 1,700 foot up. I climbed up it. All right, enough of all that. We're running late here. We've been going for 3 hours and 19 minutes. So maybe it's time to end the video. It actually wasn't Google Earth, it was Google Maps. My Google Earth's not working. I wished it was. So yeah, I got some hillbilly in me, guys. Oh, a lot of garlic, like rich, loose soil. Yeah. Got a lot of garlic going, guys. Yeah, I've grown the elephant garlic. That's right, Jason. Travis and Greg. Keeping. Hey, Carmen, how you doing? Oh, we got some people in here, wasn't in here earlier, looks like. Well, we've gone late. We've gone late. Oak is great wood, yep. Excuse me, guys. Year of punk rock music. 6 Pistols. Yeah, we can say 6. Good year, 76. That's right. That's right. 1,800 houses on my land. Wow. Granite right now. There's no granite around here close by. It might, yeah. Stone Mountain in Georgia is a granite, probably plugged with no volcano chamber. So there's some granite, but you got to go usually to some place like that, or maybe go really deep, or go to the Smoky Mountains. You'll find some out there, those areas. Bought my boxer from a farmer on the side of the road, Olive Branch, Mississippi. All right, I must have got to the bottom of the comments. I think I went too fast there. Good discussion, says Randy. So Allison Road is named after your family. That's right. That's right. There's no Allisons living there anymore. Greg, the hour is starting to get you. Yeah, it's late. We got to go here. Grip on Stone Mountain. How about that? Yeah. That funny. I had people in here who's been, I've had people in here who's been from Sand Mountain, some of my chats, some from Gunnersville, some has been lived on Skyline Mountain. Billy, I've also lived a year on Brindley Mountain. Somebody was from Brindley. Gosh, I miss my old dog. Yeah, I had some good dogs I missed too. All right, guys, I think we've gone really long here tonight. I think this is our longest session ever. Wow. Y'all really got to see into my life tonight. I grew up not far from Iron Mountain. Y'all got to see where I grew up. You got to see me in 1993. You got to see all my space stuff. You got to see me as a space guy. So I want to build a greenhouse. That sounds good. Smokies, Oak Ridge. Alrighty, folks, we've had a good long night here. And I really appreciate all you. I've had a lot of people hung out with me a long time. We still got been going 3 hours and 22 minutes, and we still got 106 people in here. Wow. 250 thumbs up. That's awesome. So we had a lot of ham tonight with green Gregs and ham. And some space. A lot of space. Yeah, a lot of space. So y'all got a good look at, you see what I looked like when I was 33 and a few years thereafter. I said, okay, fellow Gregsters, it was real. Sweet dreams, everyone, says Michelle C. Richard Solomon, yeah. All right, so y'all got a good look into my life here tonight, a fair look. So we keep doing this. Y'all might know a little bit about me one of these days. Might be a dangerous thing to do, to share all this. But I hope you had fun. I hope it was fun. A little tour of kind of where I've been, what I've done, how Green Gregs got created. Yeah, I was born in the backwoods, raised by a bear. So yeah, it's no ditty some people used to sing, right? Hey, Miriam, you need to go to sleep, mister. You're tired, I can see it. Hugs and kisses. All right, you too. Randy says, I am a ham operator. Does that count? Yeah, it does. If you were on board when I did my earlier videos about our space launch stuff, that we developed hybrid rockets and launched altitude balloons, all our controls, data, telemetry, and video, uplinks and downlinks that we have, all that was ham radio frequency stuff. So we had a lot of ham people involved. I wasn't one myself. Bill Brown was on one of my videos. He was my main ham guy. Main one. We had a few. I guess I got to do ham radio real soon. I need to go in. I am electrical engineer, and I did work communications when I was in the National Guard after I got out of the Army. Yeah, I was 35. I was still being carded, says Vicky. That's awesome. Oh, sexy one, Greg, says Granny. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Really appreciate all you. Y'all great. Appreciate all your support. I appreciate the super chat we got. Tiffany says, thank you, Greg. Awesome time. Much love always. Much love to you. And really appreciate all you guys. I hope you had a little fun tour there. Maybe I can get that video off my camera where I ran around the country. I did some video, but that's long. Take a lot of editing. I told the story of the moonshiner that lived in that house. Yeah, I lived in a house where a gun battle was fought, where the guy fought the law and he won. That's not so usual, but that's up in Paint Rock Valley. A lot of funny things happen up there. Garlic bicarbonate. There you go. There you go. All right, guys. It's been real. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all you, the Allison Rocket. Appreciate all of you and all that your support, hanging in here with me. So y'all hang in there. We got to make it through. They're trying to throw this great reset at us, and I don't think any of us want any part of it. So I think there's enough of us. Now they will try to pull stuff over on us, like shutting down businesses and quarantines and all that. They got some tricks up their sleeves. But the great reset is a trap being set. That's what I'm convinced. And they're trying to set up a feudalistic system. They make you think it's going to be communism. It might be for those living there in the squalor at the bottom of the pyramid, but that's not where they're going to be. All right, my friends, take care. We'll hang together. We've got each other's back. We'll get through this. Just remember, in the end, we win. Thanks to the greater creator. Give all the thanks above. All right, well, good night.